On day 1, I spawned into the Great Lake Isles as a blaze! Whoa, this is so cool! I'm one of Minecraft's most powerful fire creatures! Or at least a baby version of one. But I'd spawned into a very hostile environment. As you can probably tell from the name, the Great Lake Isle is surrounded by a lot of lakes. It's lucky that all I need to do is avoid the water. It's not like the water can come after me. But I would soon eat my words as a huge figure rose out of the lakes near me. Oh no, who are you?
I am Aquarius, the Lord of Water Elementals, and I will do my duty to the power of water by annihilating you, fire creature!
Let's not be so rash. I'm Zozo, and I may be a blaze, but I don't want to hurt anyone.
As if the great Aquarius would ever trust the words of a petty blaze like you, Zozo! Let the water purify your pathetic soul!
Aquarius blasted a water blast at me, and I needed to dodge it before floating away as quickly as I could. There's no way that I'm gonna be safe out here while that guy is still hanging around. I need to figure out a way to defeat him, or I'm gonna get drowned by him. On day 2, I continued fleeing from the lake that Aquarius emerged from, trying to stay as far on dry land as I could. I only have 10 hearts. It's not like I can afford to take any risks. A big enough water blast from that evil elemental, and I'd be reduced to a soggy pile of ashes. My running away had also made me incredibly hungry. That's why I searched around until I found some apples, and threw them into my burning furnace of a mouth. Ah, that's good. The water is dangerous, but I'm glad I'm safe on land. Once again, I'd made a habit of speaking too soon, because as soon as I'd said that, a small gang of huge, terrifying bugs swarmed out of the ground. Oh no, who are you guys?
We're the sectoid gods, the baddest, meanest bugs this side of the overworld, and we work for the water elemental.
Why?
Because in exchange for working with him, he floods the nests of our enemies. It's a pretty sweet deal. All we need to do is destroy all the fire creatures we see inland. Get 'em, boys!
And the boys did indeed try to get me. That's why I floated away as quickly as I could, knowing I didn't have the strength to take them all on yet. I thought I was doomed when suddenly I turned invisible. All the sectoid guards just ran right past me, leaving me safe, at which point I became visible again. How did I do that?
You didn't do that. I did.
Where did that voice come from? A funky colored sheep appeared in front of me. I'd never seen anything like it.
I am the mystery sheep. It is in my best interest to guide you on your journey, and it is in your best interest to follow me.
Well, you just saved my life, so I'm not gonna argue with you. Lead the way, Mr. E-Sheep. On day 3, the mysterious mystery sheep led me through the Great Lake Isles, speaking very little, which made him even more mysterious.
We will soon reach our destination. There, you will confer with the Iron Chicken, and he will give you your next steps.
If you say so. Man, this day just keeps getting weirder and weirder. The mystery sheep zapped away, and I was left alone, until I saw the Iron Chicken standing in the distance. He noticed me as I approached.
Come as close as you like, son. All this iron makes me completely fireproof.
That's a relief. I've never actually met an Iron Chicken before.
I wasn't always an iron chicken. I'm a veteran. I was a war chicken. But as I got injured in various wars, I replaced my injured parts with iron. In the end, I'd gotten so injured over time, iron was all that was left of me.
No offense, but that's really strange. So, does that mean you're still the same chicken? Or because you replaced everything with iron, are you a whole new one? Oh, wow, my head hurts.
It's okay. I'll get that a lot. I hear that you're involved in some kind of quest.
It's true. I'm on a quest to defeat Aquarius, the water elemental. But I don't know where to start.
You start by getting tools, and then you get stronger. Here, take this stone sword and stone pickaxe. Take them and make a base where you can train and get stronger. It's the only way you'll ever beat that water elemental, young Blaze.
I picked up the stone sword and stone pickaxe and set off to leave. Thank you for your encouragement, Iron Chicken. I hope we meet again someday. From day 4 to day 5, I left the Iron Chicken to do whatever Iron Chickens do and found a perfect place a little inland of the Great Lakes to start building my base. I cut down some trees and mined some stone and started building myself a basic base, one that was fireproof enough for a blaze to stay in without burning it to ashes. But my burning body wasn't the only potential threat to my base. I saw a terrifying ender creeper emerging from the distance and zeroing in on my base. I need to stop it, or all my hard work will be blown to Kingdom Come. I ran in and attacked the ender creeper, but I wasn't there fast enough to stop it from exploding. I was expecting to see the pearly gates, but instead, I was totally unharmed in the middle of the crater it left behind. Whoa, my firepower must keep me safe from explosions. That's awesome. And then the mystery sheep appeared once again.
That was a courageous act, Zozo. You went forth into danger bravely, and for that, I will bestow upon you 1% of my power.
Suddenly, I felt myself getting bigger and stronger. I had 30 hearts now, and a new ability, breathing fire. Thanks again, Mystery Sheep. You're so mysterious. From day 6 to day 8, I left the Great Lake Isles and went to explore the Jacaranda Forest. I need to be careful. I don't want to accidentally set anything on fire out here. But setting something on fire was the least of my worries. I soon found that the area was infested with bubble monsters. Bubbles come out of water. These monsters must have been created by the water elemental. They're probably out here searching for other fire beings. I needed to stand up for myself, and with my new fire breath, I had the power to do it. I floated in and started releasing jets of flames onto the bubble monsters, not letting up until all of them had been evaporated. I'm so proud of how strong I'm getting. But I wasn't the only one who was proud. A fire elemental emerged from behind one of the nearby trees.
Thank you, kind Blaze. Those bubble monsters were after me. It isn't easy being a fire entity out here, as I'm sure you know.
Believe me, I know. The name's Zozo. I'm trying to get strong enough to defeat Aquarius, the water elemental.
Then follow me, Zozo. I know a monstrous beast that will be perfect training.
From day 9 to day 10, the fire elemental led me to a clearing in the forest where a huge monstrous worm was writhing. Oh, jeez, what is that thing?
That's the dead worm. It's completely crazy and extremely dangerous. If you can take care of it, you'll be far stronger for the experience.
Well, I guess I'll give it a try. I ran into the clearing, my sword drawn, ready to take it on. But I wasn't ready for just how absurd the dead worm was.
Wee-hee-hee-hee! 'Tis I, the wormy death worm! Come any closer, and I'll worm you, boy! I'll worm ya!
You are incredibly strange! I used my sword and fire breath against the deranged worm, but it was no good. He was too strong. I needed to retreat back to the fire elemental. I think I need to get strong before I can take on the worm fire elemental. But in the meantime, how about you come stay at my base? We should stick together during hard times like this.
I'm honored by your offer, Zozo. Please, lead the way, and I shall follow.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my little base with the fire elemental and began building another solid stone room for him to sleep in. Perfect kind of rooms for creatures like us, because there's no way to burn them down.
Good thinking, Zozo. And feel free to take a look around. I admire the work you're doing to keep the overworld safe for entities like us. I built a few extra upgrades around the base.
I looked around and was astonished. The fire elemental had built a storage room and a new furnace. Well, I better put them to good use. I hunted down and found a mining cavern. I ventured inside, and deep down in the dark, I found some iron ore that was easy enough to mine. I took my ore back to the furnace on my base and smelted it into ingots. With those ingots, I made myself an awesome iron sword and an iron pickaxe. By the time my smithing was done, the ever-mysterious mystery sheep arrived again, appearing right in front of me.
Zozo, as you know, sheep are the finest of creatures. That is why, to aid in your quest, I recruited a number of my sheep friends and built a paddock for them to live in.
Thanks, Mystery Sheep. That'll be great if I need any wool. From day 13 to day 15, I decided to talk to the Mystery Sheep again and ask him what he, in his infinite wisdom, thought I should do next.
Well, Zozo, Aquarius's power is supported by his monstrous sectoid guards. If you take the fight to them, it will weaken him. There are 2 groups of them I can sense around here. One in the Jacaranda Forest, and another in the Jagged Peaks. Go forth and take the fight to them!
Seems like a good idea to me. First, I returned to the more familiar territory, the Jacaranda Forest. It didn't take long for me to find a small detachment of sectoid guards, and they seemed surprised to see me.
What? We were meant to perform a sneak attack on you, not the other way around.
I ran in with my iron sword, slicing and dicing with fiery passion. Once most of the sectoid guards were defeated, I used my awesome fire breath to finish them off. When the last one was defeated, they dropped what looked like a health potion. I picked it up and drank it, and felt some extraordinary power coursing through me. I got bigger, stronger, fierier, and gained a new ability, Fireballs! Hey, that's more like it! From day 16 to day 19, I journeyed to the treacherous jagged peaks, but I wasn't alone up there in this unforgiving cold. There were a gang of deadly sectoid guards waiting for me.
Finally, the blaze is here. Let's put out that sad little loser's fire, and our boss will reward us with great riches.
I sure hope all those riches are worth what's about to happen to you. I was through holding back. I unleashed my full power, blasting fireballs and spewing my fire breath, frying sectoid guard after sectoid guard, until only I remained on those unforgiving slopes. Next time I see Aquarius the water elemental, I'm gonna blow him to pieces. As I was walking back through the peaks, I came across an old book lying against the stone. It was titled The Legend of the River Demon. I opened it and read it, and it said, there once was a petty river demon who dreamed of being powerful and important. To do this, he changed his name. He pretended to be a friendly elemental, a protector, but really, all he ever cared about was power. Wow, that explains a lot. From day 20 to day 22, I decided I'd complement my new offensive powers with a little extra defense. I know just the place to go. I returned to the mining cavern and explored until I found some more iron ore, which was easy enough to mine and take back to my base. There, I used the furnace to turn the ore into ingots and make an iron chestplate that hid beneath my flames. I feel so strong now. I think I'm finally able to go back and face an enemy I never had the strength to beat before. It's the feeling that led me back to a clearing in the Jacaranda Forest, where the dead worm was waiting for me.
Waha! Wormy, wormy, wormy! It's me, Dead Worm! I'll worm ya!
I'm really glad I won't have to hear you talk anymore after this. I blasted fireball after fireball at the dead worm, giving it all I had until it was reduced to ash. Just one more monster defeated for the good of the world. But I was so distracted by my victory, I didn't notice the even bigger threat sneaking up behind me. It was Aquarius, the water elemental.
I don't normally like coming this far inland, but to destroy you, I'll make an exception.
You won't be destroying anyone. You're not a protector, you're a demon. Eat fire, you big nasty jerk. I shot a fireball at him, the same kind that destroyed the dead worm, but he shrugged it off.
Weak!
I knew that I still stood no chance in a battle against him. All I could do was turn and run again. From day 23 to day 26, I rushed back to base to evade getting annihilated by Aquarius the water elemental. I wasn't proud of having turned tail and run. It felt like a cowardly thing to do, but I wasn't strong enough to defeat my adversary, so I had no choice but to run if I wanted to survive. At least I had defeated the dead worm though, which the fire elemental would be impressed by. First things first though, I should work on upping my defense. On my way back, I made a stop at the mining caverns and explored underground until I came across some iron ore. Bringing my newfound resources back to base, I had enough to turn into iron ingots, which I then forged into an iron helmet and matching pair of iron boots. Afterward, I went to tell the elemental about my run-in with the dead worm.
Good going beating that wormy weirdo, Zozo. You're getting stronger every day. In honor of your victory, I've been working on these new improvements to the base. We have a perimeter wall now.
I checked out his handiwork, and it sure was impressive. Plus, it was reassuring to know the base would be protected, even while I was away. I'd like to see Aquarius even try to attack this place. From day 27 to day 31, I decided I'd travel back to the jagged peaks. The last time I had been there, I'd come across some useful information about who and what Aquarius really was, so maybe there was something there that could give me an idea on how to defeat him. Sadly, I didn't come across what I was looking for, but I did bump into a mutated bee.
Hey, You're that Blaze causing all that buzz by bashing those bug-eyed sectoid guards, aren't you?
That's me.
Blimey, you really did us a big bonus favor with that one. Do you have any idea how bad things have been around here with that invasive species of bugs about? Raking everything, being a real blight on the rest of us.
I'm happy to help.
Still, it barely done anything to belay Aquarius. Not that anyone blames you, bud.
I'm working on that. But in the meantime, you should head back to my base with me.
Oh, you have a base! That's brilliant! Better show me how best to get there.
We headed back to my base in the Great Lake Isles, and I decided it was time to spruce the place up. Thanks to the sheep pen being so close by, I was able to gather up some wool and turn that into some decorative banners to really have the place looking nice. But that led to another conversation with one sheep who was still something of a mystery. The mystery sheep.
Zozo, it is I. I have once again parted the woolly veil of mystery to appear before you.
What's up, mystery sheep? You enjoying hanging out with the other sheep in the paddock?
I have no time for enjoying things. There is trouble afoot. The Iron Chicken needs your help.
From day 32 to day 35, the mystery sheep and I rushed through the Great Lake Isles to find the Iron Chicken.
Hurry, Zozo! The Iron Chicken calls for aid, and he doesn't possess the might of a greater animal, such as the noble sheep.
Well, he's a veteran, right? He should be able to hold his own until we get there, I hope. When we arrived, though, we were met with a horrible sight. The Iron Chicken had clearly been battling for so long that his tiredness was beginning to show. Sectoid guards were coming at him from all angles, and although he had fought off many more, all it took was one to sneak up behind him and… No! I leapt into action and launched a flurry of fireballs at the remaining sectoid guards. I managed to scorch those that were left, but I was too late to save the Iron Chicken. From day 36 to day 39, I left on my own for a while to mourn the loss of the Iron Chicken. The mystery sheep had offered some mysterious words of comfort, but I just needed to be alone with my thoughts. Although, I wouldn't be totally alone for too long, as while I was carefully making sure not to burn down the forest by accident, I stumbled across a rich mummy.
A blaze? You command fire!
Yeah, I'm a blaze, and I can control fire a little.
Another serpent disturbed my slumber when it made a nest in my tomb. I need you to smoke it out.
Sure thing. I guess I can help. It didn't take long to track the nether serpent down. It had made a home for itself in the temple the old mummy had been buried in, but that was about to change. I launched a barrage of fireballs, catching the sleeping serpent off guard. As it frighteningly recoiled from the flames, I was able to back it into a corner and finished it off with a swing of my sword. I went back to my new mummy pal afterwards.
Nicely done, Blaze. Now to get back to my eternal slumber. I'm exhausted.
Question though, you're pretty old, right? You don't happen to know anything about Aquarius the water elemental?
You mean the river demon? Oh, good luck with him. He's a nasty customer. But if you're hoping to find him, then I'd check out the Dead Sea.
From day 40 to day 43, I headed back to base for the first time since losing the Iron Chicken. I was expecting things to be somber, but when I arrived, the mystery sheep had something to share with me.
Zozo, you made a valiant effort to save the life of the Iron Chicken.
I still failed though.
But you tried, and that is important. Endurance is something almost as mysterious as me, and you possess it. It is for that reason that I called out to my brethren, the other mystery sheep. We live here now.
All around were a mystery number of other mystery sheep, although some of them seemed to think the base needed some improvement.
A normal mind would crumble under the weight of our collective knowledge. We need a way to archive all of life's mysteries. And also comfy chairs.
I got to work making some brand new bookshelves for the mystery sheeps, and a nice comfy living area for them. When I was done, the mutated bee came buzzing up to me.
Blimey, Blaze! I've had a bad time trying to make it to this base of yours. This bunch of creeper spiderlings decided to bully me. If you could be a bro and blast them for me, that'd be the best.
Rude creeper spiderlings? I'll take care of those bullies. Don't you worry. From day 44 to day 49, I headed off to the Jagged Peaks once again to take care of the creeper spiderlings that were giving the mutated bee such a hard time. Couldn't seem to find any trace of them, but I was soon met with the presence of the last person I wanted to see. It was Aquarius, the water elemental.
There's the little Blaze. How's your cowardly chicken friend?
If it weren't for you and your sectoid guards, the Iron Chicken would be fine. You didn't have to go after him just to get to me.
Oh, you think that's why I wanted him gone? He was a war chicken. He opposed me in a resistance back when I first tried to ascend. I wanted to turn the overworld into an underwater paradise, but the pesky land animals fought back. Now I'm going to finish the job.
Not if I have anything to say about it. Once I can control my fire powers, I'll boil you into steam.
That'll be a neat trick, if you were alive to do it.
Suddenly, a scary creature burst out and attacked me. I only just had time to block its attack with my sword before I realized what it was. A snarling wolfman! While my head was turned, Aquarius managed to slip away, leaving me to face his minion. From day 50 to day 53, I fought hard to defend myself against the Wolfman. He was by far the toughest opponent I had ever faced, and much faster than I was used to. Every time I shot a fireball at him, he'd leap out of the way. Why even work for Aquarius anyway? There's no way you really trust him. He said he wants to flood everything and do away with land animals, and that includes you.
Not me. I can swim. Just look how fast I am.
That was it. I needed to slow him down. Instead of aiming my fireballs for the Wolfman, I fired some at the ground near him. Then, as he moved to evade, his fur caught fire and stopped him from running.
Ow! 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 I could really do with some water to douse these flames, boss. Wait, boss? Where did he go?
I told you, you can't trust Aquarius. He used to be a river demon. There's no way he's got good intentions. But I'm gonna stop him.
Then you'll need something stronger than a few fireballs and a plucky attitude. Only magic can stop a demon, like these.
The Wolfman presented what had made him so fast and strong. Some mystical diamonds. Thanks for the tip. With that and another swing of my sword, I defeated the Wolfman and held on to the diamonds for later. From day 54 to day 57, I got back to my previous quest to take care of the creeper spiderlings for the mutated bee. And thankfully, it didn't take me too long to find their nest. With a volley of more fireballs, I was able to burn down their webs and drive the creeper spiderlings out to where I was waiting, ready to finish them off with my sword. Afterwards, I headed back to my base to tell the mutated bee the good news.
That's brilliant. I'm beyond grateful to have a blaze watching our backs again.
Wait, there used to be other blazes?
Oh yeah, before the Big Bad Blue. Before the river demon became Aquarius, he blasted all the blazes with water to snuff out their fire, since it's basically the opposite of water. Blazes used to be a way to maintain the balance in the big bug world. But now they're all gone, besides you.
From day 58 to day 62, now that I was back to base and had a few moments to spare, I decided it was time to work on some upgrades. I expanded the sheep paddock, knowing that now all the mystery sheep were staying alongside the normal sheep. The last thing I needed was for it to get too crowded. Then I set off to mine for some more diamonds. I already had a handful of mystical ones from the Wolfman, but I needed more to actually put them to use. And lucky for me, I found some. With my mystical diamonds, I had enough to make a sword imbued with their magic, and plenty left over to craft a new diamond pickaxe. Once I was done, the mystery sheep had some more words of mysterious wisdom to impart.
Zozo, my flock and I appreciate you letting us take refuge here. As a show of our gratitude, we have used an incredible 3% of our boundless knowledge to improve the living conditions here.
I had no idea the mystery sheep was so well versed in interior architecture. He and the others had made a brand new spacious living area for everyone, as well as a big fireplace. With a quick fireball in there, I could keep the base nice and warm. From day 63 to day 66, I spoke with the fire elemental, who was still residing at the base. I asked him if what the rich mummy had mentioned about the Dead Sea was true.
If there's anywhere near here that you could find Aquarius and take the fight to him, then it'd probably be the big body of water synonymous with death.
Yeah, the Dead Sea does sound like a place an evil river demon masquerading as a water elemental would hang out.
You'd best be careful out there then, Zozo.
I headed off to investigate, and before long, had made my way to the Dead Sea. The name seemed accurate, not just because it was a grim, foreboding place, but just because it was so quiet. In fact, so much so that I got startled by someone coming up behind me. It looked like another blaze, but something was different. Who the heck are you? Did Aquarius send you?
What? No, you've got it all wrong. Sorry for sneaking up on you. I just couldn't believe that there was a living blaze here again.
Wait, do you mean that you're not a blaze or not alive?
Technically, neither. When the river demon snuffed out all the blazes, this is what became of us. We're ender blazes now. Our flames can't warm this world any longer. but you still can, and I need your help.
From day 67 to day 70, the Ender Blaze led me around the savannah next to the Dead Sea.
Since Aquarius flooded the place, nature's been thrown off kilter. Without blazes to help keep the elements in balance, all kinds of crazy mobs have emerged, just like this one.
The heck is that? I was stunned at what I was seeing. It was part spider and part llama.
Spider llama, these things are nasty critters. I can't stop it from devouring the food sources of other creatures, but you might be able to.
So, I jumped right into action and drew my new mystical diamond sword. The llama and spider hybrid was startled, but retaliated with vicious attacks. I had to parry its blows with my sword, then managed to chop off its legs and slowed it down enough to deliver the final strike.
Thanks, young Blaze. You make the rest of us proud.
From day 71 to day 74, I continued to search the Dead Sea and found a stone path leading deeper into the sea. I searched for clues as to where I could find Aquarius's hideout. I didn't come across anything helpful, although I could see something in between the rocks. Would you look at that? It's my face! Why not search for more of our videos by typing ZOZO above? Suddenly, Aquarius the water elemental burst from the Dead Sea right before me, angrier than I'd ever seen him.
How dare you come here, a blaze this close to my waters? I'll make you pay for this. You'll be nothing but soggy ashes when I'm done with you.
I barely ducked out of the path of his attacks in time. Unsheathing my mystical diamond sword, I was excited to see that a swing from it could finally leave a little bit of damage. But it wasn't enough. I tried using my fiery blaze powers to make the water elemental evaporate, but my flames weren't hot enough and got extinguished by Aquarius. I had no choice but to get away. This close to the Dead Sea, I was already in danger, and if I didn't escape, it would be all over for me. From day 75 to day 78, I made it back to the safety of my base, but didn't feel all that reassured about it. I had narrowly escaped Aquarius, but I was beginning to think I wouldn't be able to beat him, despite all my best efforts. I wanted to be alone in my room for a while, until the mutated bee came to talk to me.
Hey, Blaze Bro! Hope you don't mind, but this big old base of yours badly needed some better defenses, so I've built up a brand new watchtower. Should be a lot easier to see any bad stuff coming our way.
I realized that the mutated bee was trying to cheer me up, and being reminded that the others were still safe from Aquarius in the base did lift my spirits a little, and I was about to feel even happier after my next chat with the mystery sheep.
Zozo, you continue to endure despite setbacks. As such, me and my fellow mystery sheep have decided to grant you but a tiny fraction of our power. We saved this essence from the creature that created the first generation of blazes. Take this.
It was a lava bottle. I immediately drank it, and wasn't harmed thanks to my awesome command of fire. And it suddenly ignited a newfound power within me. I now had up to 100 hearts, and my fireballs were improved too. I could now launch dragon fireballs! From day 79 to day 84, now that I'd been powered up, I decided to once again take the fight to Aquarius in the Dead Sea. Unfortunately, when I returned, there was no sign of him anywhere, although I did get a chance to try out my new upgraded abilities on some nearby mobs. A few feathered serpents were flying around nearby, and I made quick work of them all with a blast of my dragon fireball attack.
Impressive.
The gruff voice belonged to a creature I'd never seen before. It almost resembled a blaze, but it had a lot of characteristics similar to a wolf. Who are you?
I'm the Blaze Wolf. I only appear to those who are worthy to wield the flame. Come, walk with me for a while.
I hung out with the Blaze Wolf for a while. It seemed he had gotten pretty lonely since Aquarius got rid of all the other blazes, and I was happy to keep him company. To say thank you, he even gave me an old diamond helmet he'd found. Now I had added protection against Aquarius's attacks. From day 85 to day 89, I was making my way back to base when I saw a horde of sectoid guards attacking. I rushed over to stop them and reduced a huge number of them to smoldering cinders with my upgraded dragon fireballs. The rest turned and ran away, but I couldn't let them escape. Those nasty bugs would no doubt tell Aquarius where to find my base, and he might come and flood it with my friends still inside. I gave chase and followed the surviving sectoid guards as they fled. I struggled to keep up as they split off from each other, and before long, I thought I had lost them.
Hey, you looking for those ugly bugs?
It was a giant mosquito. Yeah, I am. You didn't see where they went, did you?
Of course, you better get after them. Can't have them muscling in on my habitat. I've got mosquito kids to feed.
I followed the giant mosquito's directions, and it led me to a few of the sectoid guard stragglers who were no match for my firefly blaze powers. From day 90 to day 94, I went after the last remaining sectoid guards and decided I would try to head them off at the pass. I did my best to outpace them and tried to get to the Dead Sea before they could make it back. But as I arrived, I noticed they were heading towards a certain structure I'd been looking for. It was Aquarius's lair. And outside was a creature standing guard that the sectoid guards reported to, a big axolotl.
Out of my way, bugs! I'm going to snuff out this place once and for all, so the boss rewards me in his new water world.
I got my sword ready and leapt into the fight. The big axolotl might have looked cute, but he was one dangerous adversary. I tried using my fireball attacks, but his hide was protected from the flames, so I'd have to try a different approach in order to take him down. From day 95 to day 97, I clashed head-on with the big axolotl. My dragon fireballs weren't effective enough, so switching to my mystical diamond sword was the only way I could stand a chance. Why even work for Aquarius anyway? He'll betray anyone to get what he wants, and he's trying to destroy all the land animals.
Axolotls are amphibians. We can survive underwater. And Aquarius has promised me a kingdom of my own under the sea. A position that I'll secure once I tell him the last blaze isn't burning anymore.
I had to rely on my sword and speed to fend off the big axolotl. But lucky for me, the mystical diamonds I had used to forge my new weapon weren't just good at dealing damage against river demons, but also against oversized amphibians.
Oh no, this can't be! Aquarius promised me!
I told you, he can't be trusted.
Oh, then let me repay him for his betrayal in kind before you finish me off. The water is his greatest strength, but also his ultimate weakness. He has to absorb water to survive, you see. It's why he doesn't like to venture inland too often. You need to dry him out.
Thanks for the advice. I'll make this part quick. With that, the big axolotl was defeated. I had beaten my toughest challenge yet, and now I knew exactly where I could find Aquarius to confront him and put an end to all this. But I pumped the brakes on my eagerness and decided to first return home to resupply and check my friends were okay. On day 98, I arrived back home and was pleased to see everyone was okay. First, I spoke to the mutated bee.
Be careful, Blaze buddy. Go show that big bad bully river demon that you're the boss around here.
Thanks, bee. Then I spoke to the fire elemental.
You're carrying the flaming torch now for all of us fire creatures, Zozo. Your fellow blazes would be proud. I know I sure am.
I couldn't have done it without your help. And finally, I spoke to the mystery sheep.
Zozo, go forth into the great mysterious unknown with all the grace of us mighty noble sheep. Channel our greatness and you will prevail.
You know, I don't think I'll ever fully understand you, mystery sheep.
I know. That is the point. I'm mysterious.
With that, I headed off to the Dead Sea for the final confrontation. On day 99, I arrived back at the water elemental's lair to find an army of sectoid guards crawling in the lobby. Whew, guess the only way in is through them.
Still, it'll be easier with some help.
It was the Ender Blaze from before.
All the other blazes trapped with me are channeling their power to keep me here. I should have just enough firepower to help you out in battle. Go on, Zozo. Finish this once and for all. I'll hold them back here.
So I dashed inside. On day 100, I came bursting into the lair and was finally face to face with Aquarius, the water elemental, or as he really was, the river demon.
You! Who are you to challenge me? You think you're special because you're made of fire? I'm the Lord of Water Elementals. I'm the unstoppable tide that will purify this overworld.
You're nothing but a liar and a pretender, Aquarius, and I'm the Blaze who's gonna stop you. The final showdown was on. I knew my mystical diamond sword could do some serious damage against the river demon, but I didn't want to play my hand too early. He could try to knock my main weapon out of my hand. Then I'd only have my flames left. But I thought back to what the big axolotl had said. I needed to dry Aquarius out, and I now had powerful dragon fireballs at my disposal. But how? I was hurling fire at Aquarius, but it wasn't working. Then, I remembered building my base to make sure it was fireproof so I didn't burn it down. And then I thought of it. If I couldn't evaporate Aquarius with a direct fireball attack, then I'd have to burn the area around him. I launched more dragon fireballs and spread flames all over the place while clashing with Aquarius. Before long, the temperature was rising and his attacks were getting weaker. With one last fireball, his water started to evaporate. This is from my friend, the Iron Chicken. You're fresh out of cluck, Aquarius. The true river demon he was had been made vulnerable to damage, and one final swing of my mystical diamond sword finished him off for good. I had done it! I'd survived 100 days and defeated Aquarius, finally putting a stop to his schemes. On day 1, I spawned into the frozen lakes as an ice witherstorm. Whoa, even as a baby ice witherstorm, I'm pretty awesome. And thank goodness, because I don't feel cold out here either. But my celebrations were interrupted when I heard the flapping of mighty wings coming towards me. I looked up and saw a huge ice dragon floating in the air above me.
You!
Me?
Don't be funny with me, boyo. What's your name?
I'm Zozo, mister.
I'm Ivan the Ice Dragon, and that means ice is my thing. You think you can steal my thing, you wee little witherstorm? I'll teach you what it means to be truly ice cold.
Ivan fired a huge ice blast down towards me. It nearly hit me, but I was lucky enough to dodge at the last second. Hey, you almost hit me.
Yeah, that's what we in the business call a warning shot, dummy. The next one will come when you least expect it. You want to keep the icy cred? You've got 100 days to earn it, or frostbite is gonna be the least of your worries.
He unleashed an even more powerful ice blast, and this time I just had to run for my life. Gotta beat Ivan, or he's gonna freeze me to my doom. On day 2, I wandered further across the frozen lakes. In weather this freezing, even I started to feel the cold. This is so embarrassing for an ice witherstorm. Maybe I just need some food. I only have 10 hearts. It's important to keep my hunger bar filled up. I searched across the frozen lakes until I finally found an apple tree. It's not easy to grow food in a place this cold, so I needed to enjoy everything I could get. I broke down the tree and ate some of the apples, solving the hunger situation. But it didn't solve the situation of a dread thrall charging out of the distance.
Huh, enjoy those apples, you little baby. That's such a baby thing to do. Eat apples.
Is it? I'm not sure I follow your logic here.
It makes sense when you're a dread thrall, okay? It's like a cultural thing. Anyways, let's fight. Ivan told me that a witherstorm was trying to jack his style. I owe it to him to put you down.
The dread thrall ran at me and unleashed some powerful attacks. I wasn't strong enough to fight him yet, so all I could do was break away from the fight and run for my life. I got out of there as fast as I could, but as I cowered behind a pile of snow, I heard something approaching. I was terrified, worried that it could be the dread thrall. Instead, a cyclops stepped out.
Come with me if you want to live.
How could I deny an offer like that? On day 3, the cyclops led me across a safe part of the frozen lakes, telling me to keep as quiet as possible.
You need to keep a low profile around here if you want to last. Ivan's dread thralls are all over the place.
Where are you taking me?
Shh, somewhere safe. That's all you need to know.
I kept quiet as the cyclops led me. Then he suddenly stopped.
This is as far as I'll go. It's too dangerous for us all to be in one place. Go forward 50 paces and you'll see a dodo hippogriff at a campfire. Speak to him and then come back to me when you're done.
Okay, understood. I followed the Cyclops' instructions until, predictably, I found myself at the campfire where the dodo hippogriff was waiting.
He sent you. Good. You follow orders. You might have a better chance of surviving than the last one.
Wait, what do you mean, the last one?
You think you're the first ice witherstorm to spawn here? There have been many, and Ivan has destroyed them all out of his evil jealousy.
But if he's after ice witherstorms, why are you and that Cyclops guy so afraid of him and his goons?
Your people have the worst of it, but Ivan is a nightmare for all of us. Anyone who bruises his ego gets destroyed. We want him gone, and with our powers combined, we can make it happen.
What do I need to do?
Go with Cyclops. Train. Get stronger. If he finds you this threatening now, imagine what you can do when you reach full power.
From day 4 to day 5, I carried out the dodo hippogriff's wishes and left with the Cyclops. I knew that if I was going to survive this, I needed to put a roof over both of our heads. Sit tight, Cyclops. I'm gonna make us some tools and get started. I knocked down a tree with my WITHERSTORM strength and made the pieces into a wooden pickaxe. From there, I mined into the ground and collected some stone. I had to be careful where I mined and built, because some areas were just a thin layer of ice over water. When I had enough stone, I built myself a stone pickaxe and a stone sword. With my spare stone, I started building a basic 2-room base to protect myself and Cyclops from the elements.
This is a good start, Zozo. Solid, but low-key. This won't attract any undue attention.
Thank you, I think. But it may not have been that low-key. All that building had attracted a dangerous dirt scorpion a long way away from home. As it attacked, this time I fought back until the dirt scorpion was defeated. This gave me the XP to level up, getting 30 hearts and a new power, Ice Blast. Now I can finally start living up to my ICE WITHERSTORM name. From day 6 to day 8, I left the Cyclops back at the base while I went out to explore a nearby frosty mountain range called the Alps. Wow, the air is very thin up here. I probably wouldn't make a habit of hanging out up here. But my thoughts were interrupted by an adorable orange and white kitty running up towards me.
Please, stranger, I need some help. There's something terrible happening back there.
Calm down, calm down. What's going on here, kitty?
The dread scuttler. It's horrible, and it was chasing after me. I was so scared.
Don't worry, kitty. You just hang back here, and I'll go take care of it.
Thank you, stranger. Thank you.
Please, call me Zozo. I braced myself and went off in the direction that the kitty came from. It didn't take me long to find the dread scuttler, and with the help of my Ice Blast and my stone sword, it didn't take long for me to beat it either. Afterwards, the kitty approached me, happy that I'd taken care of the nasty dread scuttler.
Zozo, that was amazing. You're the best.
Please, it was nothing.
Well, if it was so easy, maybe you'll help me take care of a dreadlich not far from here. He's been causing a lot of trouble.
Sure, I'll always do my best. From day 9 to day 10, I followed Kitty's instructions and went further into the Alps. That's where I found the dreadlich waiting.
So, you're the one who destroyed my dread scuttler. Do you have any idea how hard those are to summon? I'll make you pay for this, you wretched little Ice WITHERSTORM.
Talk is cheap, dreadlich. Let's duke it out. But it didn't take me long to regret being so gung-ho. The dreadlich was way tougher than I thought. He tanked my attacks and returned with some magical attacks of his own. My only option was to run away and survive to fight another day. I met with Kitty again and told her the bad news.
Don't beat yourself up, Zozo. You tried your best, and you did an amazing job getting rid of the dread scuttler.
And I'm gonna take care of the dreadlich too, but I need to get stronger first. Why don't you come and stay at my base in the frozen lakes? It'll probably be safer there.
That's a very generous offer, Zozo, and I think I'll take you up on it.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my base with Kitty and quickly set about building a new room in my base for her to stay. I made sure it was the kind of room that'd be really cozy for a cute little kitty. What do you think, Kitty?
I think you did an amazing job, Zozo. So amazing, in fact, that I made a few base upgrades of my own to repay you.
And Kitty certainly had made some awesome upgrades. She created a sheep farm full of, yep, you guessed it, sheep. She'd also created a furnace and a storage room. Are you implying I should go and forge myself some new weapons, Kitty?
Nothing gets past you, Zozo.
I searched until I found a decent cavern for mining, and searched until I found a healthy vein of iron ore. I dug up the ore and took it back to my base with me. There, I used the furnace Kitty built to smelt my ore into iron ingots. And with those and some sticks, I made myself an iron pickaxe and an iron sword. Now I'm stronger than ever before. That's what I'm talking about. From day 13 to day 15, I spoke to the Cyclops again, asking if he had any advice on how to get strong enough to defeat Ivan the Ice Dragon.
Well, what have you fought so far?
I've fought a lot of things.
Fought and beat, I mean.
A dirt scorpion and a dread scuttler.
You're gonna need to fight stronger things than big bugs if you want to really level up, Zozo. Go back to the Alps and find something worth defeating there. Only true challenge will help you grow your skills.
Great advice, Cyclops. Following his advice, I went back to the Alps. Even making my way up there was exhausting. This was going to be more challenging than I thought.
Hey, if it isn't the big, goofy, apple-eating baby. I knew I'd find you eventually, and now you're doomed.
It was the same dread thrall who'd hassled me earlier, but this time I wasn't going to talk to him. I was going to fight him, and I was going to win. With a combination of ice blasts and lethal strikes from my iron sword, the dread thrall was vanquished, and I picked up a healing potion he dropped. Once I'd swigged it down, I started to transform. I got bigger, stronger. I had 60 hearts and a new ability, shooting with a wither skull. Half ice, half witherstorm. My power is really coming along. From day 16 to day 19, I went from the mountains of the Alps to the even higher frozen peaks. If getting challenged makes you tougher, I'm gonna be as tough as one of these mountains soon. During my journey, I happened upon a book laying on the ground. Its title read, Dreadthrall's Diary. Well, this seems like essential reading. There was a section that read, Ivan's been such a drag since that ICE WITHERSTORM turned up. He's so paranoid and stuck in his own head. He started staying in that base in the eroded Badlands. What kind of ice dragon hangs out in the Badlands? It's way too hot there. He's staying in the eroded Badlands? That's really useful information. I looked up and saw another Dreadthrall standing a few feet from me.
Hey, that's my diary, you jerk! Oh!
Before he said another word, I blasted the Dreadthrall with a powerful wither skull, and he was no more. From day 20 to day 22, while heading back from the frozen peaks, I wiped out a small but vicious gang of coyotes. It feels good to be so powerful. I think I've earned myself a treat. I returned to my favorite mining cavern and collected a few extra chunks of iron ore. Then I returned to my base and used the furnace to smelt them into iron ingots. From that, I built myself an iron chestplate and equipped it. You probably can't see it in all my Witherstorm swirls, but it feels good to know it's there. With my new power and new armor, I felt the confidence to go back and settle an old score. I returned to the Alps, where I saw the Dreadlich waiting.
Ready for me to hand you your Ice WITHERSTORM Heiny, eh, Zozo?
I'd like to see you try, Dreadlich. This time, it was a much more even fight. With my Wither Skulls and Ice Blast, this time I put him down for good. Kitty is gonna be so pleased when I tell her. Suddenly, a chill went down my already chilly Ice WITHERSTORM spine. I heard the great flapping of wings in the sky above and saw Ivan the Ice Dragon coming towards me.
Oh, there you are, you little plagiarist! You lazy copycat! I'm gonna be the only ice being out here!
As strong as I'd gotten, I still wasn't tough enough to take on Ivan yet. I did the only thing I could and ran. From day 23 to day 26, I made it safely back to my base and rushed to tell Kitty the good news. Hey Kitty, remember that Dreadlich you were having trouble with?
You mean the one you were having trouble with, Zozo?
Well, those troubles are over. I defeated him.
Perfect! Nicely done, Zozo!
I didn't want to rest on my victory for too long. After all, I had only just narrowly escaped from Ivan. I still needed to get much stronger if I was going to take him down for good. I decided to venture back to the mines and have another shot at gathering up some more iron ore. Luckily for me, there was plenty to be found in another vein underground, and I hacked away with my pickaxe. Once I had gathered up enough ore, I smelted it into some shiny new iron ingots. I had plenty to smith myself an iron helmet and sturdy pair of iron boots to match my chest piece. Now, I was fully protected.
Zozo, come have a look!
What's new, kitty cat? Whoa! Kitty had been working on an upgrade to my base as a way of saying thank you for helping her out. She'd built a brand new perimeter wall to keep danger at bay. Now I wasn't the only one with added protection. My base and my friends were too. From day 27 to day 31, I headed back to the frozen peaks. Now that a few of the Dreadthralls and that pesky Dreadlich were taken care of, it was a bit safer for me to explore the area. Although, I had my guard up when I spotted a mighty behemoth. But was he a friend or foe?
Relax, little Ice WITHERSTORM. Take a chill pill.
Sorry, I can't be too careful with Ivan and his dread horde around.
Oh, that buzzkill. Yeah, I can imagine he would have given an icicle like you a really icy reception.
Are you gonna keep making jokes like that all day?
Sorry, man. I'm just feeling pretty good since you took out all those Dreadthralls. It's made things around here way cooler. But you know there's still plenty of Ivan's minions around, right?
You're right, and it's not safe for you here, Behemoth. Head back to my base with me.
Sweet! You're a pretty chilled guy, Zozo.
I made my way back to the base with the Behemoth. Once we had returned, I was able to grab some wool from the flock of sheep in the pen and use that wool to make some nice decorative banners that really livened the place up. Once the decorating work was done, the Cyclops ran over in a panic.
Zozo, come quickly. I need your help. There is another challenge that might help build your strengths.
Then lead the way. From day 32 to day 35, my Cyclops friend and mentor took me towards the frozen lakes, where we came across a sight that even made my Ice WITHERSTORM self shiver. A swarm of Ivan the Ice Dragon's Dreadthralls were chasing after Dodo the Hippogriff.
Zozo, help! It's Ivan. He's found me. He's on to us.
I leapt into battle, swinging my iron sword to chop down some of the dread thralls. I let off an ice blast, then another attack, my wither skull blast. I was desperately trying to clear a path to reach the dodo hippogriff, but there were just too many dread thralls in the way. No! The dread thralls destroyed the dodo hippogriff. I slashed my sword at them, taking down each and every one of them, until not a single thrall was left standing. But I was still too late. From day 36 to day 39, I decided to wander off on my own for a little while. I needed to clear my head and be alone with my thoughts. I hadn't known the dodo hippogriff all that long, but I was still sad I couldn't save him. He'd had a lot of faith in me being able to take on Ivan, so I figured maybe my sadness was a reminder that I couldn't take his wisdom for granted. I had to make sure I lived up to the dodo hippogriff's expectations. On my travels, I encountered a cactoid in the Alps.
My. Will you please help me? I'm being pursued by a beastly creature.
Sure thing. Just point me at the nasty critter, and it's as good as gone. The cactoid led me to the creature that had been coming after him, a horrible hellhound. I grabbed my sword and readied for a fight. After all, the dodo hippogriff had told me the path to victory was getting stronger, and any battle was a chance to improve. I took down the hellhound with little effort and went back to the cactoid to tell him the good news.
Oh my, thank you, kind, chilly stranger. I've seen Ivan's minions on the move more and more lately. His ego must have been pricked something fierce.
Yeah, that dragon really is vain. He took out one of my friends just to get at me.
Well, he wants to be the only ice creature around. I imagine he feels threatened by you. Take it from a guy covered in spines. Some people only act tough on the outside to protect themselves on the inside.
From day 40 to day 43, I decided it was time to rejoin my friends back at the base. The Cyclops and I had parted briefly after we lost the dodo hippogriff, but I thought about what he'd said before. Only with our powers combined could we take down Ivan.
Hey there, Zozo. Glad to see you're back. Don't worry, I've been keeping an eye out while you were gone.
Thanks, Cyclops. Say, this place looks a little different.
Well, I wasn't gonna just sit around on my hands. Have a look around.
The Cyclops had worked really hard at making the base more homely, just the thing I needed to lift my spirits after losing the dodo hippogriff. He'd built plenty of new bookshelves and even a few comfy couches. You know, Cyclops, it's not like we can sit on more than one of these couches at a time.
About that, Zozo, I was wondering if I could invite some guests. There are more Cyclopses like me who have had it up to their eye with Ivan. Would you mind if they came to stay?
Not at all. The more, the merrier. After the other Cyclopses came in and found their places, the behemoth came over to talk to me.
Say, Zozo, when you've got a moment, I also have a favor to ask you.
From day 44 to day 49, I set off from my base to carry out a quest that my friend the behemoth had given me. He said that there was a silver lobo hiding somewhere in the frozen peaks, and that he had some useful info that would help me taking down Ivan, if I could take him down, that is. But while I was beginning my search, I heard the flap of two icy wings and had to leap out of the way as Ivan arrived, swooping in for an ambush.
There you are. I thought you would have given up after my dread thralls killed your poor friend, the dodo hippogriff. You know, he'd still be alive if you had just turned yourself over and let me destroy you, little Witherstorm.
What's your problem, Ivan? You're really going out of your way to try and stop me from getting stronger. Seems like you might be a little insecure.
You're a pest. Nothing more than a chilly breeze. I'm an ice dragon. I should be the master of the freezing cold. I'll unleash a whole new ice age on this world, an endless deep freeze. But as long as you're around, you're in my way. So let's see if we can't fix that little problem.
Suddenly, a monstrous reaver burst out of nowhere and came charging towards me. Ivan had already flapped away, leaving his minion to take me on. This creature might be my toughest fight yet. From day 50 to day 53, I got to fighting the reaver. This thing was one of the most powerful mobs I'd ever seen. It was all brute strength and rage. I deflected its blows with my iron sword, the occasional hit knocking into my armor and causing me a little damage. I'd need to keep my cool if I was going to defeat this monster. Wait, that's it! I blasted the reaver with my ice blast. While the icy attack didn't freeze it completely, it did slow down the beast's attacks. I could dodge out of the way of its fist a lot easier now and got around behind it to deliver the final strike with my sword. The Reaver fell. I had not only survived, but I'd beaten the creature too. But my trusty iron sword was looking a little worse for wear now. Although, much to my surprise, the Reaver dropped something that could come in real handy later on. Some mystical diamonds. I'll stash these in my inventory for now, but they could make me a great replacement for my sword. As soon as I touched them, I was granted a magical vision by the mystical diamonds. They showed me a little dragon, just newly hatched. It was Ivan, as a baby. He was scared and all alone, left abandoned on the top of a frozen peak. So that's why he was such a bully. He'd felt so helpless, and now he wanted to be the strongest around to avoid that feeling, even if it meant being mean to others. From day 54 to day 57, I continued my search through the frozen peaks until I finally came upon the creature I'd been searching for, the Silver Lobo. This thing was nasty. I didn't even have a chance to negotiate or come up with a peaceful solution. It just lunged straight for me. Lucky for me, I had already tangled with a Reaver and survived, not to mention all the dread thralls I'd taken down. So with a few blasts of Wither Skulls, the battle was over as quick as it began. And then I saw the thing that was so handy that the behemoth had sent me here in the first place. The Silver Lobo dropped a map. It had been tasked with guarding a location that obviously Ivan didn't want me getting to, so I grabbed the map and made the trek back to my base. I needed to speak with the behemoth.
Hey there, Zozo. It sure is cool to see you back in one piece.
Say, behemoth, why send me after this map?
Well, I figured you should go to where it leads and find out for yourself.
Will I find out why Ivan wants to stop me from getting stronger?
Oh, I can tell you that. He doesn't like being the weak one, and you intimidate him. An ice dragon like him can harness the frost and the freeze, but you're cooler than cool. You're ice cold. Ice withers are made of pure frozen magic. He only wants to hold you back because he knows you could outmatch him.
From day 58 to day 62, I decided to do some more work on my base now that I was back for a while. I upgraded our sheep pen, making it more spacious for the flock so they could roam around a bit easier. Then, I took a look at the map I had gotten from the Silver Lobo and started to follow it to see what all the fuss was about. It only led to a mine filled with diamonds. No wonder Ivan didn't want me finding out about this place. I got to work mining as many diamonds as I could carry and raced back to my base so I could turn them into useful items. Before long, I had a brand new diamond sword to replace my worn out old iron one, along with a new diamond pickaxe to make mining a breeze. Then, just as I was finished, my Cyclops friend came up to talk to me.
Zozo, I noticed some of my fellow Cyclopses were a little bit chilly, so I made a brand new fireplace with them. Hope that's okay.
Sure, even though the cold never bothered me anyway, I'm glad you guys can keep warm. The Cyclops and his new pals had even built a whole new comfy living area for everyone to show their appreciation for being allowed to stay in the base. I had to admit, I was pretty impressed with what they'd done with the place. From day 63 to day 66, I decided to ask around my base for some advice. I knew I still wasn't tough enough to go head-to-head with Ivan yet, but I had to do something to get back at him. And besides, the Dodo Hippogriff had made me realize that teamwork was the best way to putting a stop to Ivan's plans. Eventually, the best advice came from Kitty.
You know from that Dread Thrall's diary that Ivan has a base in the eroded Badlands, right? Well, why not go and scout the place out? You don't have to go in or try and face him. Just take a look from the outside to see what it looks like and how to get there.
Good idea! A recon mission! Thanks, Kitty!
No problem, Zozo.
I made my way to the eroded Badlands, making sure I kept to the shade as often as I could, since the Badlands were so much hotter than the frozen lakes. Even though ice witherstorms like me were pure enchanted ice, I didn't want to run the risk of melting. I was able to get a good look at Ivan's base. It was well guarded by plenty of his minions. The place was crawling with dread thralls. Getting inside was going to be tricky unless I got a lot stronger. Suddenly, I caught the sound of someone sneaking up on me. It was a siren. Oh no, I thought. One of Ivan's perimeter guards had found me. But to my surprise, she wasn't with Ivan at all.
You're an Ice Witherstorm. Then the rumors were true. Come with me. There is something I need your assistance with.
From day 67 to day 70, I followed the siren as she explained what the problem was.
One of Ivan's dread beasts drove me out of my home not far from here. It's an incredibly territorial creature, and I can't convince it to leave. I need someone to, well, not to be indelicate, but someone that can remove it.
No problem, Miss Siren. I'll handle it. Sure enough, there in a clearing sat the vicious Dread Beast. It immediately sensed the presence of an ice witherstorm in its territory, and I got ready for a fight. After all, I'd been looking for a chance to test out my new diamond sword. The snarling Dread Beast was quick, but only a little bit harder to defeat than one of the Dread Thralls. I swung my sword at the monster, and it fell, bested in combat, and now the Siren's home was free from the nasty intruder.
Oh, thank you, Zozo. I wish I could offer you more than just my gratitude, but know that should you ever need a helping hand, I will come to your aid.
Wow, thanks, Miss Siren. From day 71 to day 74, I ventured out across the eroded Badlands, trying to get a better feel for the area and see if I could come across any hidden passageways or other areas that could offer me some secret way into Ivan's lair. I just needed to find something to give myself an advantage, and if I could get a drop on that egotistical ice dragon, maybe that would help me defeat him. I didn't find much in the way of secret tunnels, although I did pass a strange rock formation. When I looked at it from a certain angle, it almost seemed to spell out a word. If you're enjoying this video and want to see more, then find our other ones by searching Zozo or clicking the channel icon below. Suddenly, I heard a familiar flapping of some fearsome wings. Ivan! I must have wandered close enough to his base for one of his dread thralls to spot me.
You never should have come here, Zozo. I'll teach you to trespass.
Ivan fired his icy attacks at me. Under the sun of the Badlands, he was weakened. Either that, or because I was stronger now, I could take more of what he could dish out. Feeling confident, I swiped my diamond sword at him as he swooped down low, but it wasn't enough to cause any lasting damage. I still wasn't strong enough, so I dodged out of the path of Ivan's next ice blast and took cover until he flew off, frustrated he couldn't find me. He wasn't the only one feeling frustrated though. From day 75 to day 78, I headed back to base and went to sit quietly in my room. I was annoyed that I still couldn't beat Ivan in a fight. I knew all about him now, how he had become the meanest, toughest around, so nobody else could harm him, but he still needed taking down. And if I couldn't even manage to do that, then no one else had any hope of stopping him. I wasn't strong enough, and that made me feel like I'd let down the poor dodo hippogriff.
Hey, Zozo, don't feel so disheartened. Come and check out the base. We've made some improvements that are pretty... they're good.
It's okay, Behemoth. You can make a nice joke.
They're pretty cool. That's what they are. Here, I'll show you.
The Behemoth showed me around the base, eager for me to see the new battlements he and the others had been working hard to install. There was now a brand new watchtower, offering a great vantage point to spot Ivan or any of his minions coming if they ever tried to attack our base. I had to admit, even in my low mood, it helped to lift my spirits a little, but not as much as what came next.
Zozo, my Cyclops brethren and I have been talking, and I've been thinking about what the Dodo Hippogriff said to you about combining our powers. This battle axe is a sacred item to us, and, well, we think you should have it.
I was honored. I took hold of the Cyclops battle axe and hoisted it high. I could feel its magic coursing through me as I suddenly grew larger. It granted me 100 hearts and even passed on some ancient wisdom to me, how to perform a special attack called a whirlwind attack. From day 79 to day 84, I was feeling pumped for a rematch with Ivan the Ice Dragon, so I made my way back toward the Badlands to take him on with my increased strength and the Cyclops power at my side. Much to my disappointment, Ivan was nowhere to be seen, probably hiding back in the safety of his base. I did come across a fire ogre though. This was one mob I really didn't want to let get the better of me. His burning blasts of flame could have melted me. But luckily, a huge gust of wind from my whirlwind attack and some ice blasts for good measure quickly snuffed out the fire ogre for good. But before I could celebrate, I got quite the fright when a ghost appeared behind me. Hey, don't sneak up on me like that.
My apologies. I've been wandering these Badlands for longer than I could remember, just looking for where I fell in my last life.
Well, I'm sure I could help you look. The ghost and I searched around for a while, and he seemed to be pretty grateful just to have someone to talk to after being on his own for so long. After a little digging, we came across a shiny diamond helmet.
You found my helmet. This must have been where my body was. Thank you, Zozo. Now I can rest. Here, take my helmet. I'd rather it went to someone worthy like you.
This was perfect. Some added protection from attacks would give me an edge against Ivan. From day 85 to day 89, I headed back to my base, only to find a terrifying sight waiting for me, Dread Thralls! They were attacking my base! I jumped into action and drew my sword. I let out a blast of my whirlwind attack, sending Dread Thralls toppling over and flinging them into the air. I cut down 2 with my diamond sword, then froze another with an ice blast. A heavy strike with my sword, and he was gone!
Ah, jeez. They promised that Ice WITHERSTORM was just a big, goofy, apple-eating baby. That's no baby. Let's get the heck out of here.
With that, the remaining Dread Thralls ran off, and I rushed after them. I had to make sure they didn't make it back to Ivan. If they led him to where my base was located, he could destroy all of my friends. I wasn't about to let that happen. I chased the Dread Thralls across the frozen lakes until they were pretty far from my base. I almost lost track of them, but thankfully, I passed a pink pixie who pointed me in their direction.
Hurry, Zozo! Those horrid brutes are tearing through the lakes, causing chaos! Please, give them what for?
From day 90 to day 94, I caught up with the Dread Thralls. They'd ran all the way back to the eroded Badlands. If I didn't act quickly, they'd reveal the location of my friends to Ivan, then he'd attack. They were approaching Ivan's base when suddenly the Thralls stopped. A hideous creature came out to meet them. It was a Gorgon.
What news for Master Ivan?
We found where the big, goofy, apple-eating baby was hiding. But he wasn't no goofy, apple-eating baby. He's a powerful Ice WITHERSTORM.
Silence! Lower your voice. Don't let our master hear. I will break the news to him. First, tell me where I can find this troublesome Ice WITHERSTORM.
After the Dread Thralls left, I ran in to take on the Gorgon alone. I'm right here. The Gorgon gave an angry hiss as I jumped out from my hiding spot and cut down one of the Thralls. I took them out much easier than when I'd first started out, but getting rid of them was only the beginning. The Gorgon attacked. I had to use all the attacks I had learned to fend him off. This was by far my toughest fight yet. From day 95 to day 97, I continued trading blows with the Gorgon. I thought of the Dodo Hippogriff and his wise guidance, and of the Behemoth, Kitty, and the Cyclopses, and all they had done for me. I couldn't let them down.
An icicle like you can't best me. Out here in the Badlands is where a serpent like me can thrive.
Yeah? Well, if you're anything like your boss, then you're just talking a big game to hide how uncertain you are. And I never met a snake I could trust. A snake, that was it! A cold-blooded reptile. That's why the Gorgon lived out here where it was warm. If I used my frosty powers, I could make him drowsy, slow him down. So that's what I did, firing off as many ice blasts as I could, despite the scorching sunlight. It was working. The Gorgon's attacks got slower, easier to dodge, and I could slash the frozen parts of his body to chip away at his health. Soon, he had been defeated. I'd done it. I'd taken down Ivan's top henchman. The Gorgon even dropped a key that would get me into Ivan's base.
Wait, don't you want to know what happened to the others?
Others? The other Ice WITHERSTORMs?
Yes, how my master destroyed them all.
With his dying breath, the Gorgon told me that Ivan, after being abandoned on a frosty peak, devoted himself to being the coldest creature around. He had hunted down other ice withers to absorb their freezing powers and make himself stronger. That was why he had been trying to get to me this whole time. I had to stop him, but I'd need to gear up before the final fight. On day 98, I made my way back to my base, hoping to prepare myself for my final showdown against Ivan. It had all been building to this, and I hoped I was ready. First, I spoke to Behemoth.
Don't worry, Zozo. I'm sure you've got what it takes to take down Ivan. You're the coolest customer I know.
Thanks for that, Behemoth. Then, Kitty.
Zozo, take care! Remember to lick your wounds, and don't fight if you've got a hairball. Trust me on that one.
I'll take your word for it, Kitty. And finally, the Cyclops.
Listen, Zozo, I can't thank you enough for giving me and my Cyclops friends a home. I think the Dodo Hippogriff would be proud of how far you've come. We combined our powers, and it made you the powerful Ice WITHERSTORM you are.
I just hope that I'm ready to take on Ivan.
None of us are ever ready for challenges, Zozo. We just have to tell ourselves we are, and remember what challenges are for.
There to make us stronger. On day 99, I made my way back toward the lair of Ivan the Ice Dragon, passing the Alps on my journey towards the eroded Badlands. When I finally reached my destination, it seemed Ivan hadn't taken the fall of his Gorgon too well. The place was crawling with dread thralls. I knew I could handle a group of them, but this was way more than I had ever seen. What I could really do with is getting help getting past these dread thralls.
But of course, you only had to ask Zozo.
Miss Siren!
My siren song can distract these thralls for a time. That should help you deal with them. You go in there and take on Ivan once and for all.
On day 100, I made my way into the heart of Ivan's lair and came face to face with the frozen dragon himself.
So, you've come to get melted, like all the other ice witherstorms.
No way, Ivan. I'm here to stop you. I understand why you feel the need to be so tough, but it doesn't excuse hurting people.
I am tough. Why do you think that me, an ice dragon, would make my home here in the eroded Badlands? Because I'm strong enough, cold enough to withstand the heat.
Let's see about that. We clashed. The fight was on. Ivan was much bigger than me and could fly, so he already had a few advantages I didn't. But I had plenty of my own. I was smaller, faster, and far stronger than when we had last fought. Like before, I kept trying to take some swings of my diamond sword whenever Ivan swooped down low and came in for an attack. This was working for a bit, but Ivan quickly realized what I was doing and began to stay, hovering in the air to evade my sword strikes. Flapping his wings to stay above me, he launched icy blasts my way, and I had to dodge as quick as I could. But that gave me an idea. Two can play that game, Ivan. I've got the power of ice, and the Cyclops is on my side. Moving quickly, I used my ice blasts. Then I stayed out of reach and fired some wither skulls his way. It worked. One more swipe of my diamond sword would finish it. Hey, Ivan, you really need to chill out. Boom! Ivan the Ice Dragon was defeated. On day 1, I spawned into the Amaranth Fields as a golden gorilla. Now it looks like I'm a gorillionaire. Well, a baby gorillionaire anyway. But I bet with my hard work, I can get bigger, stronger, and even shinier. My golden gorilla voice was a little too loud though, because it attracted the attention of someone who wasn't so nice. A strange green man in a crown emerged.
Wee-hee-hee! 'Tis me, the great and glorious Goblin King! All will bow to my excellence!
Oh, hi, Goblin King. Your Highness, I'm Zozo, the golden gorilla.
No! This simply won't do! You're too shiny! Nobody should be shinier than my crown!
I can't help how shiny I am, Your Highness, and I promise that I didn't mean to offend you.
I don't care what you mean! I'm the Goblin King, and what I want, I get! And you're gonna be a lot less shiny once my fully sick boys have beaten you senseless and buried you beneath the earth!
Suddenly, some ogres emerged and started stomping towards me. All I could do was run for my life and get out of there, but I could still hear the Goblin King's shrill voice behind me.
You can run, but you can't hide! We'll never give up, Zozo! Never!
I kept running until I couldn't hear him anymore. Guess I'm gonna need to topple the Goblin King if I want to get any peace around here. On day 2, I started exploring more of the Amaranth Fields. It's pretty nice out here, but I guess looks can be deceiving if the Goblin King and his ogres are running around here, and I've only got 10 hearts. I'd better find something to eat, and fast! Luckily, I stumbled on an apple tree. I used all of my baby gorilla strength to shake the apples down from the tree and gobble them up. That really hit the spot. I love apples.
Good choice for your last meal then. Get it? Because you're dead meat, shiny boy.
I turned around and saw the Goblin King's ogres charging toward me. Uh-oh, I don't think I'm ready for a fight, but I guess I don't have a choice. They attacked me, and I tried my best to fight back, but they were way too tough for me, and there were so many of them. It's only my second day. It can't already be over for me. No!
Hang on, little gorilla. I've got this.
A gobber jumped into the fray, fighting off the ogres long enough for me to get away from them.
Follow me. Let's get you out of here before more of these jokers show up. By the way, my name's Greg.
I'm Zozo. On day 3, I followed the friendly gobber to his campfire. Thank you for saving me.
Don't sweat it, kid. Any enemy of the Goblin King is a friend of mine.
He hates me just because I'm shiny and golden.
Don't take it personally. That attention hog can't stand it if anyone else is special. That's why so many of us are trying to overthrow him. Everyone deserves to shine, not just that so-called king. Here, I got someone you should meet.
The gobbler introduced me to a goblo sitting near the fire. I told the goblo that I was the Goblin King's latest target. Tough luck, Zozo. Sorry to hear that. But you're in the right place if you want to end the Goblin King's regime. We've been working on it for quite some time, and I get the feeling you'll be a great help. You'll need to get a lot stronger first, though. Think you can do that? Yes, I do! That's what I like to hear. First things first, you're gonna need a base. Get to work building one. I'll send Greg along to help you out. Thank you so much! Don't ever let them dull your shine, Zozo. From day 4 to day 5, I got to work building a base. Before I can build anything, I'll need some wood and some tools. I gathered enough wood to craft a wooden pickaxe, then used that pickaxe to gather some stone. Now I can use this to make a full set of tools. I'd better hurry up so I can build my base before it gets dark. I crafted a set of stone tools, and then it was finally time to build my base. A room for me and a room for Greg. There, looks pretty good. It's small, but I'll have time to build more later. Greg, come check out our new home.
Sweet digs, kid. I like it. Great place to hang my hat for a little while.
But you're not wearing a hat.
Well, if I get a hat, I'll have a place to hang it. Hey, kid, look out behind you.
I turned around and was jumped by a garch. This time, though, I had a sword to defend myself. I fought back and managed to defeat the nasty creature. Hey, I did it! Oh, I feel kind of funny. Suddenly, I grew bigger, and I felt my hearts increase to 30. Awesome! I yelled with excitement, and a blast of fire came out of my mouth.
Careful with that fire breath, buddy. Don't burn the house down.
Sorry. From day 6 to day 8, I took my new set of tools, improved strength, and super cool fire breath, and went out exploring. I traveled to the jungle, where I spotted a poor, innocent little Kato being attacked by a Shadowneer. Hey, cut that out! The Shadowneer didn't listen, so I had to make him listen with a blast of fire breath. He got pretty angry about being burned, but I had my sword ready to go, and we battled it out. The Shadowneer was tough, but I was tougher, and I managed to win the fight. You're safe now, little Kato.
Thank you. I've never met a hero like you before, but I'm afraid I'm still not safe. I was trying to run away from a bigger, badder monster when that Shadowneer attacked me. See, my house was invaded by a reaver. He kicked me out and said if I tried to come back, he'd kill me. Could you help me get my home back?
That's terrible. Of course I'll help. From day 9 to day 10, I followed the little Kato to his house, and sure enough, there was a huge, scary-looking reaver standing guard outside.
Hey, I told you to clear out of here. Maybe you didn't learn your lesson last time. Do I need to tell you again with more pain?
The only one who's gonna get hurt around here is you!
What? You're here to fight me? Ha! You're tiny, like a little gold statue of a gorilla. You don't scare me.
Well, maybe this will! I opened my mouth and shot a blast of fire breath at the reaver, but he didn't even flinch.
Oh, thanks. I was getting kinda chilly. Now it's my turn.
Uh-oh! He launched himself at me, knocking me back. He was way too strong. I don't think I'm ready for this fight. I'm so sorry, little Kato. We've got to run. But I promise I'll come back and finish the job once I'm strong enough. I ran away as fast as I could, the little Kato right by my side. Until we get your house back, you can come stay at my base with me. From day 11 to day 12, I escorted the little Kato back to my base. I'll need to build another room, so he has somewhere to sleep. I got to work, and before long, I had added on a room for my new guest. Here you go. I hope you're comfortable here.
Thank you so much! I wanted to give you something in return for letting me stay here, but I didn't have anything with me, so I hope you don't mind, but I added something to your base. Come take a look!
He showed me a brand new storage hut.
I figured you could keep things in here. Weapons, I guess, or whatever you want.
It's great! Thank you! Now you get some rest. I've got more work to do.
Wait, before I do, are you the golden gorilla that the Goblin King is trying to get rid of?
I sure am.
Oh, I'm so sick of that Goblin King. He wasn't always in charge, you know. He came here a little while ago with an army of ogres and scared everyone into listening to him. No one even knows where he came from, or if he's a real king at all.
No wonder he's so worried about being outshined. Thanks for the info, little Kato.
My name is Lyle, just by the way.
I'm Zozo. Nice to meet you. Lyle went off to take a nap, and I headed into a nearby cavern to do some mining. I gathered some iron ore, perfect for upgrading my gear. I used a furnace to smelt the ore into iron ingots and crafted an iron pickaxe and an iron sword. I still feel like the base is missing something. As I was brainstorming, I spotted a herd of sheep grazing nearby. Hey, sheep! Why don't you come live with me? I built them a sheep farm to live in and herded them inside. Not too bad, if I do say so myself. From day 13 to day 15, I was trying to come up with ideas on how to grow stronger. I decided to talk to Greg and get some advice. Hey Greg, I'm running out of time to get strong enough to defeat the Goblin King. What can I do?
Well, kid, when I want to get stronger, I get out of my comfort zone. Try going somewhere new, maybe fighting some new enemies. You'll never grow just staying in the same place all the time.
Great idea. I'll go back to the jungle. That was a pretty intense place. I traveled back to the jungle and started exploring the unfamiliar terrain. While I was walking, I spotted some familiar faces, the ogres. They were too strong for me before, but I think I'm ready to try again. Hey, remember me?
Hey, look! It's the Golden Gorilla! Let's get him, boys!
I opened my mouth and shot fire breath at them, engulfing them in flames.
Ouch! Where'd you learn to do that?
I didn't answer their question. I just drew my iron sword and attacked again. This time, they were the ones who weren't prepared. And one by one, I defeated them all. I did it! I did it! Hey, what's this? There was a health potion on the ground. They must have dropped this. Well, finders keepers. I drank the health potion, and right away, my hearts increased to 60. Woohoo! I was doing a victory dance when I accidentally shot a fireball. Hey, that's new. I'm on fire here. From day 16 to day 19, I followed Greg's advice and kept exploring. My journey took me all the way to the desert. It sure is hot out here. I wish I had a nice shady tree to sit under. Oh, and some coconuts. But instead of coconuts, I found a book. The Book of Information. Information about what? I guess I'll see. It says the Goblin King was once a lonely little goblin underling, the lowest of the low. One day, he had enough of being bossed around. He snuck up on the leader of his kingdom, destroyed him with a sneak attack, and stole his crown. Now, he lives in fear of being seen as the fraud that he is, and having someone take his place. Wow, I'd feel bad for him if he wasn't trying to kill me.
Get that gorilla!
I was suddenly ambushed by more of the Goblin King's ogres. But with my new fireball attack, they didn't stand a chance. I burnt them all to a crisp and vanquished them. Hey, I'm getting pretty good at this whole fighting thing. From day 20 to day 22, I traveled back home to my base. Time to go back into the mines and see if I can upgrade my gear some more. I entered the mine and quickly found some iron ore. After I smelted it into ingots, I was able to craft an iron chestplate. With my new attack, my new strength, and this armor, I think I can finally fight that Reaver. So I traveled back to Lyle's house, where that nasty Reaver was still stomping around like he owned the place.
Back for more. Can't get enough of the taste of defeat.
You can't just take people's houses. I'm going to show you what happens when you do. I hit him with a fireball, and this time, it worked. It knocked him back. While he was recovering, I got my sword and rushed at the Reaver, swinging my blade as hard as I could. He attacked me, but I came back at him even harder. A couple of hits later, he was down.
Whee! Well, look at that! You're getting stronger, I see!
It was the Goblin King. He was watching me from behind a nearby tree.
I'll have to send stronger minions to get rid of you, it seems. No matter! I will! I always get what I want, you know!
Only because you sneak up on people. You'll never win in a fair fight.
Well, we'll have to sort out that, won't we? I have grand plans for your demise, Zozo! Such grand plans! Whee!
And with that, he disappeared. From day 23 to day 26, I ran back to my base as fast as I could. My encounter with the Goblin King had shaken me up a little bit, but I was still excited to give Lyle the good news about his house. Lyle! Guess what? The Reaver is finally gone!
Really? That's amazing! But
Oh no, what is it?
it's just, I've been having so much fun staying here with you guys. Do you think I could keep living here instead?
Sure, stay as long as you want. With that settled, I ventured back into the mines to look for some more iron ore. After I found enough, I smelted it into ingots and crafted a new iron helmet and a pair of shiny iron boots. While I was trying on my new armor, Lyle came to see me.
Hey, Zozo. As a thanks for everything, I built a perimeter wall around the base to help keep us safe. So nothing like the Reaver attack ever happens here.
I went outside and checked it out. That's amazing. I feel safer already. From day 27 to day 31, I headed back out to the desert to continue exploring in the harsh climate. I was kicking around the sand, getting lost in my thoughts, when I saw something. A silver lobo sat under a palm tree.
Hey, you're the gold guy who beat up all those ogres.
I sure am.
Well, that was super neat of you. If you're still in a heroic mood, I could use some help. Any chance you have a place I could stay for a while? The Goblin King doesn't like how silver I am, and I'm scared he'll send more ogres after me.
He's doing the same thing to me for being gold. I'd be happy to help. Follow me back to my base. You can stay there. The silver lobo and I headed back to my base, and when we got there, I'd take a second to shear my sheep and gather some wool. Hey, this gives me an idea. I decided to hang some decorative banners on my base just to spice up the place. These really class up the place.
Sweet banners, kid, but sorry to interrupt. Goblo needs our help.
Who?
Goblo the Goblo. You met him when I saved you. Now it's your turn to help me save him. Quick, let's go.
From day 32 to day 35, Greg and I traveled back to the Goblo's campfire to see what was going on. When we got there, a whole horde of ogres was making a mess of the place. Goblo was way outnumbered. Goblo, we're here to help.
Oh, how sweet. Baby Gorilla thinks he can save his friend. Well, you're too late, loser.
I shot a fireball at them, destroying them in one hit. But when Greg and I rushed over to check on Goblo, he was already halfway gone. Thank you for coming, boys, but I'm afraid they were too much for me. I don't have a lot of time left, Zozo. You can finish what I couldn't. Defeat the rest of the ogres. I will. And just like that, Goblo was gone. From day 36 to day 39, I didn't want to go home after losing Goblo. I needed to get my mind off of things. So instead, I traveled to the jungle to look for some bad guys to fight or someone to help. I just need something useful to do.
Are you talking to me?
There was a rouge tomato suddenly staring at me. No, I was talking to myself.
Well, could you be talking to me? If you're trying to be useful, I need some help.
Sure, what's going on?
Well, I need help taking on a rattlesnake near here. He's really messing up the neighborhood, kicking everybody out. I need some muscle to get him to lay off.
You got it. It didn't take me long to find the rattlesnake. He was hissing and pacing back and forth, looking for trouble. Well, he found it, and trouble was me. I took him out with a few quick fireballs and a finishing move with my sword. Your rattlesnake problem is all taken care of.
Thanks, you're a swell guy. Not like that freak in the crown who came through here earlier.
The Goblin King?
Yeah, that's him. Said he's trying to recruit new goons to help him get rid of some gold monkey or something. Sounds like a bad scene. And seems like the kind of guy who doesn't ever fight his own fights, but still wants to act like a tough guy. If you're not a fighter, just admit it to yourself. That's what I did, and it worked out.
Yup, thanks for the info.
Yeah, forget about it.
From day 40 to day 43, I left the friendly, but kinda weird, rouge tomato behind and walked back to my base. When I got there, Greg was waiting for me, and he looked excited about something.
Hey, kid, I thought we could both use some cheering up. So I added some couches to the base for hanging out. And I was thinking, maybe we could invite some more friends to stay here with us.
Absolutely, the more the merrier.
Great, my other goblin friend should be here soon.
A little while later, Greg's friend arrived and settled in. Nice to meet ya. After a while, the silver lobo I helped out before came to find me.
You've already done so much for me, but could I ask for one more favor? I left my favorite book behind, and I can't go back and get it without being attacked by some really scary monsters. Could you go look for it for me?
I'll do my best to get your book back. We can put it on one of those shelves when I do. From day 44 to day 49, I trudged out to the desert to look for the Silver Lobo's book. I don't see any books, I just see a ton of sand. I don't like sand at all. It's so coarse and rough, and it gets everywhere. As I was digging through the sand looking for the book, the Goblin King ran up from behind me.
Whee! Tremble in fear! It's me!
I'm not scared of you.
Oh, but you should be! You think I'll only stop with your demise? No, silly Zozo! I'm
going to get rid of everything shiny in this land! Every living thing that is silver, gold, diamond, that glitters and shimmers brightly! My crown will be the only shiny thing left, and then no one will doubt my authority as king!
Or you could try being a kind and just ruler?
Are you kidding me? That sounds terrible! Sorry, Zozo, but I have to run! Bear with me!
What?
Sorry, I misspoke! I have a bear with me! Enjoy fighting my bear! Bye!
The Goblin King ran off, and a massive, hulking grizzly bear ran in! From day 50 to day 53, I faced off against the Goblin King's mighty grizzly bear. The grizzly bear charged at me. I fought back with a fireball and jumped out of the way before he could scratch me with his claws. But the bear was tough, and he came at me again. This is my hardest fight yet. It was difficult, and the bear was much bigger and stronger than me, but I was better at dodging. And I had fire powers that most bears don't have. And all of that helped me win in the end. Phew! That was a close one. I'm glad I made it. Ooh, sparkly. The grizzly bear dropped a diamond on the ground during the fight. I should take it with me. I bet I'll need it later. From day 54 to day 57, I continued my search for the Silver Lobo's book. She said there were scary monsters involved, but I haven't seen anything but sand. And that bear, but that wasn't normal for this place, I'm pretty sure. Finally, I happened upon a specter. I don't think it's that scary, but I bet that's what she's talking about. Hey, did you take someone's book? The specter didn't answer me. It just started attacking. Well, I guess that's your answer. Fireball! I blasted the specter with a fireball, and I totally vaporized it. Sure enough, it dropped the book. What's this book about anyway? Seems like a lot of trouble for one little book. Oh, it says my diary on it. No wonder she wanted it back. I ran back to my base and delivered the book to the Silver Lobo.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're the nicest golden gorilla I've ever met. Not that I've met any others. There used to be more of you, I've heard. And other gold creatures. But the Goblin King has been getting rid of them ever since he took the throne. It's just terrible.
Well, I can't let him get away with it anymore. From day 58 to day 62, I expanded my sheep pen to make room for even more sheep. There, now you guys can spread out a bit more and have some room to roam. They didn't say anything back, but I think they were happy about it. Next, I returned to the mines. The diamond the bear dropped got me thinking. I want to craft some diamond gear. I gathered some diamonds and used them, along with the diamond the bear dropped, to craft a diamond pickaxe and a diamond sword. Now I'm even shinier than ever. Take that, Goblin King. When I climbed back out of the mines and went back to my base, Greg was waiting for me.
Welcome back, kid. Since we've got more folks staying with us now, I took the liberty of letting them invite even more friends over. Hopefully you don't mind.
Of course I don't mind. You know what I say, the more the merrier. From day 63 to day 66, I tried to decide where to go next. I need to keep getting stronger so I can stop the Goblin King from carrying out his evil plans. What should I do next?
Zozo, I just got a letter from my friend in the lush tundra. She said that there is some kind of dangerous creature out there making trouble, and it might be working for the Goblin King. If you play your cards right, you could get fighting experience and some information, all at the same time.
Wow, that's like getting two things with only one thing. Awesome! I traveled to the lush tundra, and a huge warped toad leapt into my path. Uh-oh, this must be the creature making trouble. I got my sword ready and was taking a deep breath to unleash some fire on the toad when she spoke.
Wait, no! I'm Alex, Lyle's friend. I'm the one who asked for your help. You're Zozo, right?
Oh, sorry, my mistake. So if you're not the one I'm here to fight, who is? From day 67 to day 70, Alex the warped toad led me to the danger she had told me about. A warped Moscow hovering menacingly above the ground.
There it is! Think you can help?
I sure do. Time to squash that bug.
Be careful! That's one mean Moscow!
I listened to Alex's warning, and I approached the warped Moscow slowly. But as soon as it saw me, it started buzzing aggressively and swooped at me. I had to dodge and counter with a fireball. The warped Moscow couldn't get away in time, and the fireball hit it, knocking it down. I took my chance to finish it off right then and there. I did it! Your Moscow troubles are over, Alex.
Thank you so much! Lyle wasn't kidding! You really are a hero!
I'm just trying my best. I only hope I'm going to be enough of a hero to take on the Goblin King. From day 71 to day 74, I decided to explore the lush tundra a bit more. I already came all the way out here, I might as well get a good look. As I was exploring, I spotted a sign that spelled out Z-O-Z. I didn't know what that means, but it's almost my name. That reminds me, if you want to see more Zozo videos, you can find them by searching Zozo. I arrived in a new part of the lush tundra and saw a chest there. Oh, I wonder what's inside. When I opened it, there was nothing in there. Oh, that's disappointing.
Wee! Sorry to see you so sad, Zozo! Just kidding! I love to see you sad! You'll never beat me!
I was so angry, I shot a fireball at the Goblin King, but he dodged it and attacked me. He was still way too strong for me to fight him and win. Just you wait. I'll get stronger, and then you'll know how it feels to lose. I didn't want to, but I had to get out of there. From day 75 to day 78, I ran all the way back to my base. When I finally got there, I was so mad that I locked myself in my room. Can't believe I had to run away like that. I'm such a loser. I heard someone outside of my room, and when I went to check, the Silver Loba was standing there.
Sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to show you something. I've been heading on to the base. Want to come look?
Okay. I followed her, and she led me to a new watchtower. You built this for me?
I wanted to cheer you up. It'll help keep us all a lot safer, in case the Goblin King tries anything sneaky.
That's so great. Thank you. I feel better already.
I've also got something that might help, too.
Greg came over and handed me a novelty hat.
It's silly, but I told you a home is a good place to hang your hat. So, I got you a hat.
When I put the hat on, I felt a lot better and stronger too. Before I knew it, my hearts increased to 100. I jumped for joy, and I jumped way higher than usual. Whoa, a jump boost! Thank you so much! From day 79 to day 84, I ventured back out into the lush tundra to look for the Goblin King. Now that I'm stronger, I want to try and fight him again. I looked all over, but didn't see him anywhere. I did see some Black Death though. Close enough for now. Still an evil force I can test out my new strength on. I fought the Black Death and beat it easily. When I did, I was approached by a grateful rat.
Ew, that was very impressive fighting. I couldn't help but notice your shiny diamond sword. Someone dropped this, and I picked it up to keep. But I think you should have it. Here!
The rat gave me diamond leggings. This is perfect. From day 85 to day 89, I took my new diamond leggings and traveled back home to my base. When I got there, I was shocked to see Ogre stamping all over the place, tearing it down. No, get out of here!
Oh no! Did you think we wouldn't find you? Smash, 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 smash the whole place to bits!
I shot a fireball at the ogres, and they ran off into the fields. Ah, no you don't. I chased after them as fast as I could. As I was pursuing the ogres, a rat jumped in front of me.
Quickly, could you tell me the way to the lush tundra? My cousin lives there.
I pointed him in the right direction.
Thanks, you're a pal.
With another good deed done, I continued my chase. From day 90 to day 94, I tracked the ogres all the way to a castle. This must be Goblin King's palace. I'd better not get too close. I'm sure he's got guards all over the place. I'll focus on these jokers for now. I decided to shoot a fireball at the guard at the castle entrance. That's what you get for messing with my home.
Ouch! Get a boss!
Is the Goblin King here?
No, he won't dirty his hands fighting you, little gorilla. That's my job.
A plague beast emerged and came running at me. He attacked me before I could do anything, and the blow knocked me back. Uh-oh, this guy is really strong. This won't be easy. From day 95 to day 97, I continued my battle against the plague beast. It was, by far, my most dangerous fight yet. I've got to make it through this. I can't let the Goblin King win.
He's already won, fool! There are only a handful of days left before his army will sweep the land, imprisoning any that dare to try to outshine the king!
No! I won't let that happen! I used my jump boost to jump out of the way of his next attack and blasted him with a fireball. Then I came at him with my diamond sword and finally turned the tide of the fight. I was going to win! For my final attack, I jumped high and hit him where he least expected it.
It seems I underestimated you. Perhaps you will win after all, if you can best the Goblin King himself in a one-on-one fight, that is.
I will, no matter what. I'm going to do whatever it takes to defeat the Goblin King once and for all. And just like that, the Plague Beast was defeated! On day 98, I returned to my base with a renewed sense of purpose. This golden gorilla is going to win! I just know it. I've come a long way, and I know I still have room to improve, but I feel like a real hero now. Brighter, stronger, and shinier than ever. First, the Silver Lobo spoke to me.
You are Zozo. Here, take this health potion for help on your quest. I believe in you. We all deserve to shine, and you shine brighter than anyone I've ever met.
That means a lot. Thank you. And then, Greg.
Hey kid, I'm proud of you. Don't leave without your hat, okay?
I would never. And finally, Lyle.
Remember, the Goblin King only wins fights by sneaking up on people. Don't let him sneak up on you, and you'll be able to defeat him.
Thank you for believing in me. I'll try my best. On day 99, I set off on my journey to the Goblin King's castle. I passed through the lush tundra on my way and remembered my success there. I was able to help so many people, and if I can pull this off, it'll help so many more. Finally, I reached the castle. It was crawling with ogre guards. I'll never get through all of them without the Goblin King finding out I'm here. If he does, he'll be able to sneak up on me. As I was trying to come up with a plan, Alex, the warped toad, jumped out of hiding and started attacking the ogres. Alex, you came to help me.
We toads believe in reciprocity. You helped me, I help you. Now get inside and finish this.
Alex led the ogres away, and I began to sneak into the castle. On day 100, I crept my way into the castle. That's where I saw the Goblin King looking at horses. I thought about attacking him, but I realized that would be wrong. I'm not like him. I want a fair fight. Hey, stop horsing around.
What? What's happening? Oh, wee! Zozo, I see! You've come to my palace to turn yourself in?
No, I'm here to fight you. Fair and square. No tricks.
A Goblin King always has a few tricks up his sleeve.
Suddenly, he turned invisible, and I lost sight of him. Uh-oh, he's somewhere in here, trying to sneak up on me. I listened carefully, and when I heard him moving, I used my jump boost to jump out of the way of his ambush. Ha! Gotcha! I spotted him and launched a fireball at him. It hit!
Ow, ow, ow! No! You're not supposed to be so good at this! I'm supposed to win! I always win!
Not anymore! I attacked with my sword next. He fought back, but I was stronger than him. I had learned how to defeat the forces of evil, and after a difficult fight, I finally did. The Goblin King crown fell on the floor at my feet. If I were like you, I'd take this, but I don't want to be king. I just want to go home and hang out with my friends. I'm ending this reign of terror here and now. And with one last fireball, I finished him off. It was finally over! I did it! Time to go home, hug my friends, and take a well-deserved nap. From now on, things are gonna be good as gold. On day 1, I spawned in as a lava wither. Wow, I'm so little, and I only have 4 hearts. I can still hover in the air a bit though, and yes, I can throw flaming wither skulls. Awesome! They don't seem very powerful though. It looked like I was in a town of some sort. All of a sudden, I was attacked by some villagers. One of them threw shears at me. How rude, but I'm keeping the shears. Hey, I know I threw some wither skulls, but I didn't hit anyone. I wasn't doing anything to you. I hurried and flew away, slowly. I wasn't very fast yet. Man, that was mean, but I can't afford to fight right now. I found a little cave and managed to find a corner that seemed safe. Tomorrow, I'll gather some supplies. And with that, I fell asleep. On day 2, I woke up feeling refreshed. I better get some supplies so I can build a shelter for myself. I actually liked the cave I was living in, so I decided to stay there. I chopped down some trees, and as I hit them, I saw that the trees were catching on fire. Oh, whoops! Smokey the Bear is going to be so mad at me. I'd have to be careful about what I touched, since it seems like I was pretty hot, literally. I had enough wood to make some tools for myself though. They were simple, but they did the trick. Then I almost made myself a nice little nook in the cave, but the pickaxe broke. I went to craft some stone tools, and while crafting, the crafting table set on fire. Oh man, I'll have to figure out a solution to this. I noticed that my hunger bar was getting a little low, but I didn't really know what withers like to eat. I guess I would have to go out and try a few things. I flew around the forest and found some mushrooms and other berries. I tried them, but it seemed like withers didn't like mushrooms. Blech, looks like no fungi for this wither. I continued on and saw some animals. Maybe I would like some eggs or chicken. Sorry guys, I ate the raw chicken, but I didn't like that either, and it barely refilled my hunger bar. I explored some more, but it started to get dark, so I decided to head home for the night. I'll try looking for some other food tomorrow. Maybe a nice salad? On day 3, I went looking around for some plants and grass. I went for the grass, but it only dropped seeds. Then I had the idea to use the shears on it, and voila, I got some dried grass. I decided to eat some dried grass, and finally it refilled my hunger a decent amount. Weird, but whatever does the trick, I guess. As I was eating, I thought I saw something moving behind a tree. Hello? I didn't hear anything, so I assumed I was alone. I kept eating my dry grass. I went exploring and realized that I was on an island. The water was so clear and beautiful, I wanted to touch it. I reached out, and it hurt me. I don't think I like water anymore. I mean, I'm literally made of lava, so it makes sense. I made sure to gather up some grass for later. I flew away from the shore. I decided to explore closer to the center of the island. There were lots of trees and bushes. There seemed to be a mountain in the middle of the island. Wait, no, it was a volcano. Oh, wow. I flew a little closer to the lower part of the volcano and realized there was some lava inside. Ooh, that feels nice. All of a sudden, some lava spewed up at me, hitting me out of the air. Ouch! I quickly flew away and headed back to my cave for the night. On days 4 to 5, I left the cave to go exploring some more. I realized later that someone was following me. I wasn't sure what it was, but I could see it darting away when I wasn't looking. I decided to hide behind some rocks and then pop out at it. It came around the rock, and I scared it. It was just a little butterfly. Hey, what are you doing following me?
I'm not.
Okay, sure. I kept going and waited again for the butterfly to come around the bend of a rock. You are following me, admit it.
Fine, I am, but I need your help.
Me? What can I help with?
You need to keep the island from exploding.
What? The butterfly sighed and flew away anxiously.
The island has been shaking and there have been small lava explosions. The town wise woman said that the island is going to be destroyed with a huge explosion. It can be prevented by a hero.
Me?
The town summoned you and you came, but one villager and his family were opposed to the whole thing, and he's the one that attacked you.
Rude.
Right? Anyway, you're our only hope.
Why me?
I assume it's because you're made of lava?
That would make sense, but I have no idea how to do that. I need to talk to the village wise woman.
Agreed.
The butterfly, who called herself Vanessa, led the way. On days 6 to 8, we arrived back at the village. We saw a few people around, but not many.
Those are the people who attacked you, Bruce and his son Bobby.
Vanessa pointed out some villagers outside with some pitchforks. They were arguing with some of the other villagers.
Here, I know how to get to the wise woman's house.
Vanessa led me around the back of some houses when we arrived at a home with a bell hanging outside. Nice.
I've been expecting you, young hero.
I flipped around to see a wise old woman with a basket of various dry grass on the table next to her.
I assume you are hungry.
Yes, thank you. She welcomed us in and she made Vanessa some tea.
You want to know how to defeat the volcano?
Oh, I don't even believe that I can. I'm so small.
You can. You just have a few steps to take.
She brought out what looked like an orb.
I knew that the volcano would erupt someday. The villagers turned to me to help, and I gave them a solution, but some would not listen. They will seek you out to hurt you. They believe you are evil and have ill intent.
Why would they think I'm evil?
Some withers are, but that is a choice, young friend. You choose your path. And for the sake of our island, I hope you choose wisely.
The orb suddenly started to glow, and I saw a figure inside. It looked like me, but bigger and stronger.
You can gain the ability to control the lava and tame the volcano, but it will take time. You will need to complete tasks in order to become the hero we so desperately need.
What do I need to do?
Only you will be able to know. The volcano will speak to you.
Speak to me? Interesting. It had gotten late, so the woman invited us to spend the night. On days 9 to 10, Vanessa and I woke up and went outside to collect some food from the old woman. Before we left, the wise woman said that in the vision, she also saw our struggles with setting things on fire. That's when she tossed out a cobblestone crafting table. Just what I need, thanks. Vanessa started to fly away.
I need to take care of some things, but you should go see what Bobby, one of the villagers, is doing.
I went ahead, and that's when I noticed a villager, who I assumed was Bobby, was outside among the other townsfolk. He looked angry. Then all of a sudden, he jabbed his pitchfork at an innocent villager.
Defend them.
Where did that voice come from? I decided to listen to it. Hey, leave them alone! I dashed over to help the villager and stop Bobby.
Get back, you devil! We don't want you here!
Bobby tried to stab at me, but I moved out of the way. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to save the island. Just please stop hurting people. Bobby looked surprised.
You're not going to eat us?
Ew, gross. I mean, no, why would I do that? Bobby looked shocked and he lowered his pitchfork.
My father has been telling everyone that withers are evil and can never be trusted. They feed on the souls of men.
Well, I definitely don't. I just like grass. Bobby seemed confused, but also relieved. He looked at me and nodded.
I will follow you, Tiny Wither. I know that I had my doubts, but you seem like you really care about our people and our island.
And I did. I knew they were just trying to make their way in the world like me. We could all live together in harmony. Just then, Bobby's father, Bruce, ran out of the house with a pitchfork. He ran towards me, but Bobby blocked him.
Dad, don't hurt him. He's just trying to help.
Get out of the way, boy. You don't know what you're talking about.
Then Bruce jabbed his pitchfork at Bobby.
Defend them.
Hey, leave them alone.
I spun towards Bruce, pushing him away. As I did, I threw one of my tiny little flaming wither skulls at him. It wasn't much, but it did a little bit of damage. It also gave him some wither effect.
You see? He's an evil creature. He will only cause pain and misery wherever he goes.
I am not evil. The only evil here is you. And with that, threw another flaming wither skull. It didn't take Bruce out, but it did bring him down.
Stop him. Make sure he doesn't hurt our friend again.
Bobby smiled at me and chained Bruce up, took his pitchforks, and took him off to the jail.
I'll come for you, Wither. You won't succeed in your evil plan.
Bobby came back over as Vanessa flew back as well.
Thank you,
Zozo.
Zozo. Thank you, Zozo. You are a welcome friend.
All of a sudden, I felt a power surge through me, and I leveled up into a slightly bigger wither. I had more hearts, and my flaming wither skull seemed more powerful too. Then I heard the ethereal voice again.
Well done, Zozo.
I looked around, but I didn't see where it came from.
Wow, neat.
Vanessa flew around me and did a little happy dance? I don't know, but it looked fun.
Wow, that was amazing.
Thanks. Now let's see what my new wither skulls can do. I launched some skulls and saw that they did more damage than before. There was more room to grow, but this was definitely a good start. I felt amazing. I also felt a warmth in my heart. I think the voice I heard was the volcano calling to me. I defended the people, and it was happy. On days 11 to 12, Bobby helped me build a house in the village. Well, it was more like a nice cave in the side of a rock, since I would burn wood if I touched it. We figured that I should stay close. Vanessa flew in and saw that I was making a new home, and informed me that while she was gone before, she had decorated my old cave. And now that I was building a new place to live, she was sad I wouldn't be using her improvements. I told her not to worry, as I planned on bringing everything she had done in the old base to this new one. She seemed to like that and did her little happy dance. As I made my way to the cave, I noticed some spiders outside of it. They weren't too much of a threat, and I took them out easily. Easy peasy. I ate a bit of grass while looking at the new entrance of the cave, and one of the small spiders jumped up behind me and tried to bite me. I took it out with one hit. I went in and gathered my things, but before I could grab all of them, a huge spider dropped down from the ceiling. Aw, gross!
Who you calling gross, you three-headed freak?
Hey, that's not very nice. The spider lunged at me and I dodged around him. I was able to use my fireballs, but he kept getting hits in. I didn't think I could defeat him, but I managed to take him down. Phew, that was close. I guess I wasn't as strong as I thought. I still had a long ways to go before confronting the volcano. I gathered the rest of my things and headed back to the village. On days 13 to 15, I made my way back to my new cave. On the way, I noticed a small alcove and decided to mine out some materials. I found some cobblestone, iron, clay, blackstone, diorite, and of course, some flowers. Perfect, I can make these into better tools and armor. I can also use them to upgrade my base. I made my way back to the village with my new materials, excited about what I had found. When I got back, some of the houses were on fire. Vanessa flew up to me.
Zozo, the volcano erupted. It was just a small one, but some fireballs fell down from the sky and burned up some houses.
I looked around and knew I needed help. Bobby threw an empty bucket at me, and I hurried to the ocean to help take out the fire with the water bucket. Since I wasn't touching the water directly, I was fine and didn't get hurt. I asked Bobby to come with me, and we mined out some more stone. We needed to fireproof the houses, just in case. We helped the villagers make some improvements to their homes so they wouldn't catch fire again. It was hard work, but we all felt a little safer afterwards. Except I didn't get why the volcano was telling me to do things and then attacking people. There had to be some sort of explanation. While I thought about that, I decided to finish up my cave home by adding all of the things I had gotten from my old base. I also used some of the materials I had mined earlier, and last of all, I smelted down the iron so that I could craft some better tools and armor. On days 16 to 19, I woke up to the voice again.
Be strong for them.
I didn't know exactly what that meant, but I needed to find out. I went to the wise woman again and told her that the volcano had spoken to me. I also told her I didn't understand why it would attack the villagers.
To answer that question, you must talk to Bruce.
Bruce? The guy that tried to hurt me?
Precisely.
I didn't understand why, but I'm sure I would figure it out.
Subscribe.
Subscribe? Well, I guess if the volcano said it, then it's pretty important. I made my way out of the house into the jail cell where Bruce was being kept. I need to talk to you, Bruce.
Never.
He spit at me. Why do you hate me so much? He ignored me. I guess I could try again later. I headed out and went to find Bobby and Vanessa. I told them all about the volcano speaking to me and about Bruce. Bobby didn't seem surprised.
My dad doesn't really talk that much. It would take a miracle to find out what he knows.
Great, off to a strong start. I got back to my cave and made some better upgrades to my house. I even built Vanessa a little nook to stay in. She seemed to really like it.
Thanks, Zozo. You're awesome.
She really did know how to put a smile on my faces. On days 20 to 22, I woke up with that same voice in my head.
Be strong for them.
Can you at least tell me how? Silence. Great. I got up and decided to go out to the beachfront to look for some things and gather supplies. It was beautiful, but I had learned my lesson about water. Just then, a huge crab came out and tried to snatch me. Luckily, I was made of lava and I burnt him.
Ouch, that's rude. I wanted to eat you.
Trust me, you don't want to eat me. The crab looked at me, confused.
You're not a shrimp with 3 heads?
No, I'm a lava wither. Zozo, to be exact.
A lava wither? Haven't seen one of those since the last one was summoned.
Wait, there was another one? When? The crab clicked his claws for a minute and thought.
Probably like 40 years ago. Something like that. That was a small thing then.
This was new information. Thanks, you've been a big help.
I would say thanks to you, but you're not a shrimp, so I'm even hungrier.
And with that, the crab skittered away. What a weird guy. We had almost forgotten why we came to the beach, but then remembered and picked up some more sand. On days 23 to 26, I headed back to the village and started smelting the sand. Vanessa and Bobby came to say good morning. I told Bobby and Vanessa about what I learned from the crab.
Another wither was summoned? I wonder why nobody ever mentioned it.
Yeah, I wonder. I decided to talk to the wise woman again. She would have been around then, so she must know something. I confronted her and she sighed.
I had hoped that Bruce would have told you, but I suppose I must.
She grabbed her orb again and I saw images flash across it.
About 40 years ago, 2 young men in the village decided to play with magic. They had read about withers and decided that they wanted to summon one. They grabbed the items required from a weird magical room. They went about it correctly, but there are always risks. Once the wither was summoned, using magma blocks and wither skulls, it befriended the 2 young men. They kept it secret for a long time, but the wither wanted to be free. The boys promised that they would let him go, but they never did. The wither grew bitter and despised humans, especially the ones who had summoned him. One day, he managed to break free from its bonds. There was an argument between the 3, but the wither had had enough. He attacked the village and the 2 young men.
Let me guess.
Bruce was one of those young men. The other died trying to save Bruce's life. His name was Marcus.
So what happened to the wither?
It laid the village to ruins, destroying most, and then escaped, taking captivity in the volcano. It grew over time and now inhabits it. It seeks revenge on all humans, but it's been biding its time.
So it's not the volcano that is attacking people, it's the wither living inside. The old woman nodded.
But the spirit of the volcano has been battling with it for many years. It has grown weak, nearly on the brink of collapse. That is why we need you, Zozo. You must restore the volcano and defeat the wither corrupting it.
That was a lot to process. This wither had been growing for over 40 years. How could a small wither like me stand against something so powerful? On days 27 to 31, I woke up and knew where I needed to go. I went to Bruce and told him what I had learned. He looked tired today, not as angry.
I know what I did was wrong. I messed with power that I had no right to use. I wanted something special, and I treated it like garbage. It's all my fault that this is happening, but I can't fix it.
He seemed so sad, but I knew what I needed to say. That's why I'm here. I will protect you. All of you. Bruce looked at me and he smiled.
I owe you my life, Zozo. Thank you.
I unlocked the gate and let Bruce out of the jail. He couldn't embrace me, so he bowed a little bit instead.
I will follow you, little wither. You are our strength.
Just then, I felt another surge of power, and I leveled up into a bigger wither. I was now adult size. I felt that calm again, and then I heard the voice.
Well done, Zozo.
I was on the right path. Now, I just needed to prepare. On days 32 to 35, I tested out my new abilities. I could shoot bigger fireballs and could even fly faster. Bobby heard the explosion and came to take a look at what was happening. He was impressed. Bobby gave some materials and helped to set up an obstacle course with some targets to train with. We had to keep some water on hand though, so I wouldn't burn up all the trees.
Careful, Zozo!
I'm trying, I just have no idea what to expect. I'll be fighting another wither, and I'm not even sure what tricks he has up his sleeve. Just then, I saw Bruce. He came over and decided to help me out too. He showed me how to do the crawling exercise. I was too big for it, so I just flew over the obstacle. Bruce was not impressed. He then showed me how to aim my shots with some target practice. I think I'm getting the hang of it. I had hit the target, but Bruce suddenly drew his bow at me. He started shooting, and I successfully dodged some arrows, but some hit me. When he stopped, he told me he was trying to teach me how to dodge. You could have given me a heads up first, but hey, thanks for your help.
No problem, Zozo. Anything for you.
Anything?
Within reason.
Good to know. He smiled and we all headed back to the village for some food. When we got there was a commotion at the center square. What's going on?
A small eruption came up out of the ground and swallowed a house.
We looked and indeed, there was a large spot where the house should have been. Instead, there was a pool of lava. Was anyone inside?
No, thank goodness, but it's not safe here.
The villagers all argued until Bruce hushed them.
We will take care of this. We will fortify the village and take precautions.
The villagers seemed a little at ease, but still scared. I was going to give it my all to protect these people. I just needed to know what to do next. On days 36 to 39, I waited for the voice of the volcano to guide me. There wasn't anything, and I felt a little bit frustrated. Why aren't you talking to me? Nothing. I decided that I would just wait, patiently, or at least try to. Bruce and I helped to further fortify the village. He threw us some materials and we made some cobblestone walls. As we were doing so, Bruce brought up another idea.
Hey Zozo, we want to build a statue in your honor. Also, as a reminder of hope. Do you have anything in mind?
I thought for a minute and then told Bruce what I would like. He smiled.
That sounds perfect.
We gathered the needed supplies and started to clear a spot for the statue. We built part of the base and hope to get it all done in a few days. Can you tell what it is? On days 40 to 43, we went out to explore the island. I guess I had some other things I needed to do before the volcano would speak to me again. We went looking around the volcano when something caught my eye. It was a large cave. I went in and saw that there were some diamonds. I quickly mined them all up, along with some other materials. With this, I can make some diamond armor. Neat! I noticed some lava running through a part of the tunnel and wondered if that's how the houses were being swallowed up. I tried to create some barriers just in case. It felt so nice and warm, I decided to take a break and enjoy the lava. Just then, I felt something grab me from behind. I managed to squirm around and saw a giant squid was dragging me into the water. I wasn't burning him because his tentacles were wet, so I was helpless. Oh no! He swam into the water, pulling me with him. When I touched the water, I solidified and was basically useless. I tried to gurgle to make him stop, but he kept swimming further and further down. I saw my hearts dropping and thought this was the end. Just then, the squid released me into an alcove. Out of the water, I transformed back into a lava wither. My warm heart was enough to melt the stone back into lava. Hey! There you go, friend. I have saved you. Saved me? You almost destroyed me. The squid looked confused. Wait, you're not Lily? No, who's Lily?
My daughter!
I looked around and saw some axolotls coming up to me.
That's not her, Paul. You need to stop snatching people.
I looked at the axolotl and she looked at me. There was absolutely no resemblance.
Sorry about Paul. He is Lily's friend and she disappeared a few days ago. We think she might have been kidnapped by the other clan of axolotls. They live nearby, but their keep is protected by a shark.
Well, it sounds like you need help. I'll go look for her and bring her back to you.
Really? Wow, that is so kind of you. Here, you will probably need this.
The axolotl gave me a diving suit. I guess that solved the problem of me not being able to go into the water. Off onto another adventure. On days 44 to 49, Paul guided us close to the rival axolotl clan. He suddenly stopped and told us he saw the blue axolotl somewhere around here one time, but not sure exactly where. We thanked him anyway. I was close to the surface and took a look to see where I was. I recognized the area. I was next to the dry grass field. This was a great opportunity to use the diamonds I got, so I crafted a diamond sword, pickaxe, and shovel. That's when the crafting table caught on fire. Ah, not this again. The bench broke before we could craft all of the diamonds. Darn it. Well, at least I got some tools. Better than nothing, I guess. That's when I noticed a nice-looking lagoon. Inside of it, I spotted a cave. It seemed empty, so I made my way underwater to take a look. Inside the cave, I thought I could see the axolotls hiding in there. Just then, I was attacked by a shark. Hey, I'm just trying to save Lily. The shark didn't respond. He kept attacking me. Luckily, I had crafted a new sword, so I was able to take him out pretty quickly. I swam up to the cave and emerged from the water onto a dry area. The axolotls looked terrified of me. I just want to take Lily back home. One larger blue axolotl moved forward.
Lily is where she belongs. She loves me and wants to stay here.
I didn't see Lily anywhere, so I really didn't trust this guy. Then I heard a voice.
Help! I'm in here!
That must have been Lily. Her own choice, huh? The blue axolotl jumped at me and attacked. The other axolotls backed away, clearly frightened. I was able to take down the leader quickly, and the other axolotls thanked me. Thank you, stranger. We've been captive to Blake for far too long. He wouldn't let us out, and he kidnapped Lily as a way to start a war with the pink axolotls. Why? He was obsessed with Lily for months and wanted to marry her, but she said no. Then a few days ago, he captured her. Well, you're all safe now. I went around the corner and found Lily trapped in a cave. I freed her and we all left the lagoon. I knew what I had to do. On days 50 to 53, I went back to the alcove of the pink axolotls with the blue axolotls and explained the situation. They made a truce, and Lily's mom was more than happy to have her daughter home.
We owe you a great debt, Zozo. Take this as a token of our gratitude.
Then Lily's mom gave me a huge stash of diamonds. Wow, thank you!
Of course. If what I heard is true, you are embarking on a great quest to save our island. You will need it more than we do.
I thanked them again and then started the long journey back home. On days 54 to 57, I heard the voice of the volcano speak to me.
Sacrifice for them.
Sacrifice? I could do that. I just needed to figure out how. I quickly made myself an armor stand and hung my diving suit up. As I got to town, I noticed that the wise woman was outside looking at the sky.
Welcome back, Zozo. You have been gone for a long while.
I got mistaken for an axolotl and ended up saving the kidnapped daughter and joining the clans together.
Yes, as I expected.
I looked at her. She was still looking at the sky. She was an odd one, she was.
Another 2 houses have collapsed while you've been gone. We did our best, but the Wither grows angry. He is nearly on the brink of taking over the volcano.
I was really worried. Maybe the villagers could leave the island and find refuge somewhere else. I suggested it to the wise woman.
We don't run away from our problems, Zozo.
Not run away, just stay somewhere else.
We are safer here with you.
I turned and saw Bruce and Bobby approaching me. Are you sure?
Yes, young friend. All will be well soon enough.
We all looked at the sky together for a minute. Then Bobby leaned over and whispered to me.
What are we looking at?
We slowly backed away as the wise woman continued to look at the sky. We went and gathered some more supplies so we could continue to work on the statue. It was basically done, we just needed a few finishing touches. We also built some new houses and made sure that the foundations were solid. We also built them over the water in hopes that the other Wither would be less likely to attack them. The Wither would try to take us down, but we would prevail. On days 58 to 62, I woke up to Vanessa flying around nervously. What's wrong, Vanessa?
I think there's a storm coming, Zozo. Look!
I looked outside and sure enough, it started to rain. I guess I could try to walk around in my diving suit, but it would definitely make me slower. I don't think I should go outside.
I can't either. One raindrop could really hurt me badly.
I hadn't thought about that, but it made sense that Vanessa was pretty fragile. Her wings were paper thin. It's okay though, we can have a day in. We can play a game. Vanessa flew around me excitedly. We ended up playing some games, and she shared stories of her family. Where are they now?
I'm not sure exactly. They all migrated when I was still little. My wing was hurt, so I couldn't go with them.
That made me really sad. So they abandoned you? Vanessa landed. Her wings drooped a little bit. It's okay, Vanessa. I won't abandon you. I promise. Her wings lifted a little bit, and she fluttered around again.
Thanks, Zozo. You're a good friend.
Sacrifice for them.
I sighed. I'm trying. Bobby and Bruce eventually came over looking for us. We explained the situation, and they helped build a little overhang so we could travel to and from the village safely. I was really grateful and made some food for everyone. A little while later, I took the diamonds I had been given and made myself some nicer armor. Wow, this stuff was amazing. I could take on anything with this. On days 63 to 66, I went out to go test my new armor. I went out to the jungle area where I hadn't been before. Maybe I could find some more food items. I was getting a little bit low on dried grass and only had 5 peas left. Vanessa had told me about something called chocolate, and it didn't sound half bad. I would go looking for some cocoa beans. I was foraging through the trees when I entered a clearing. It looked like there was something written in the ground. It was that thing that the volcano had said to me. Be sure to listen to that little voice in your head telling you to subscribe. I started gathering some dried grass when all of a sudden I heard some loud screaming. I didn't see anyone around me, but then I realized it was coming from the sky. The volcano was spewing fireballs. I hurried and dodged around them, but one hit me. It was small, but it was enough to knock me over. Apparently, these fireballs are extremely hot since they set me on fire. What is this magic? I'm not supposed to burn. Another fireball hit me. Ouch, stop that.
What's the matter? Can't take a little heat?
I looked around but didn't see anyone. It sounded like the voice of the volcano, but much harsher. Hello?
Small little wither, you are nothing, but I can make you great.
I assumed it was the Wither inhabiting the volcano. I'm not listening to you.
Why not? We are, after all, brothers.
I'm not your brother. You are a bully, preying on the innocent.
Innocent? They captured me and kept me as a pet. I knew I was destined for more. I had my revenge with the power I possessed, but I am so much more now. The time will come when I obtain all the power of the volcano, and then I will truly have my revenge.
What they did was wrong, but they're sorry. You don't need to blow up the entire island because you're mad. The voice screamed and fireballs rained down around me. I tried to dodge, but I couldn't handle all of it. A fireball hit me and everything went black. On days 67 to 70, I woke up in darkness. After a minute, my body lit up the space, and I realized I was buried. Oh, great. Now I have to dig my way out. I started using my tools to chip away at the hardened lava. It took a few minutes, but I was finally able to free myself. The clearing I had been in was now just a large pool of lava. Good thing I was made of the stuff, otherwise I would have been trapped. I flew over the hot magma and started to make my way back to the village. If the Wither had thrown this big of a tantrum here, I'm sure he did some damage to the village. When I arrived, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. I realized the Wither must have used up all his strength trying to hurt me. I was relieved. Just then, I saw Bobby running up to meet me.
Zozo, come quick!
I followed after him into his house. What's wrong?
It's my dad. I can't find him anywhere.
I thought for a minute, then something dawned on me. He must have gone to talk with the Wither in the volcano. That's the only thing I can think of. Bobby looked sick to his stomach.
He doesn't need to do that.
He probably feels responsible, but don't worry, Bobby. I'll go find him. I hurried and flew back to my cave to gather some supplies. On my way out, I noticed Bobby was waiting for me with a pack on his back.
I'm coming with you.
It's too dangerous, Bobby.
It's my dad. I have to do something.
He was right. I wouldn't want to stay behind either.
He will probably go back to where it all started, on the desolate side of the island.
Then that's where we'll go. On days 71 to 74, we went tromping through the island slowly. Bobby couldn't fly like me, but I wanted to keep a low profile anyways. We mostly traveled in the jungle and gathered food as we went. Hey, more cocoa beans! I totally forgot to make chocolate when I was in the village. I'll have to do that when I get back.
Sacrifice for them.
Sacrifice what? The cocoa beans? I think the volcano was losing it. We kept traveling and came upon a small pond. We made a small shelter and decided to stay there for the night. Bobby couldn't really sleep because he was so worried about his dad. It's okay, Bobby. We'll find him.
I sure hope so.
It was quiet for a while, but then out of nowhere came some more spiders. Ah, gross! Bobby helped me fight them off, and in no time they were all gone.
Now I really won't be able to sleep.
I'll keep watch. Don't worry. Bobby nodded and then managed to eventually fall asleep. I hoped I could keep my promise to him. He really needed his dad, and I didn't want to see him lose him. On days 75 to 78, we kept trekking through the jungle. I could tell that Bobby was really tired, but he kept pushing through. We came to a large cliffside and realized that we needed to climb up it. We started to ascend, but then the island started to shake.
Zozo!
The island kept shaking, and then suddenly the cliffside split. Bobby fell halfway into the cliff and managed to hold onto a ledge. I looked down and noticed Bobby was barely holding on. I went to grab him, but remembered I would burn him.
Zozo, move!
I maneuvered around them and managed to get to the ledge. Then I mined some blocks and created a safe path for Bobby to get back to safety.
Wow, that was intense.
You're telling me. We waited for a minute, just in case there was another earthquake.
I hope the villagers are okay.
I'm sure it's fine. I wasn't too sure, but I had to be hopeful.
I need a break and some water.
I nodded and let him rest for a bit. We decided to make camp and I made a small shelter. We set up a fire and Bobby was able to fall asleep right away. Having a near-death experience will do that to you. On day 79 to 84, we trekked further down the side of the volcano. We finally made it to the bottom, and just as expected, there was a barren wasteland. Everything was dried up and dusty. Bobby looked around in awe.
This is...
empty?
sad.
I nodded in agreement. So much destruction and pain. It needed to be healed and restored to the way it once was. We started to make our way through, but then Bobby was attacked by some snakes.
Ouch!
He stabbed them with his pitchfork, but more were getting bites in. Hey, stop it! I threw fireballs at them and managed to take them out, but Bobby looked pretty bad. You okay, buddy?
I think I've been poisoned. I need some medicine. It's in my bag.
He managed to grab some and take it. The wilderness is not kind to you, my friend. Bobby laughed.
No, it is not. After this, I'm never leaving home again.
His laugh got quiet.
I wonder how my dad is doing with all of this.
You're weak. I'll go get you some food.
Where?
I looked around. Touché. Instead, I located a large dead branch and severed part of it off. I gave it to Bobby to use as a crutch.
Thanks.
We slowly but surely made our way further into the wasteland. On days 85 to 89, Bobby and I arrived at what looked like the remnants of a village. Some of the stones were still there, but there wasn't much.
This must be it. My dad has got to be close by.
Bobby threw down his crutch and went scrambling around the ruins. I went looking around but didn't see much. Then I noticed something shining across the land. I flew toward it and saw a metal-looking container buried in the ground. I unearthed it and discovered it was a cage. Bobby came up beside me.
Is that...
It's where I kept it.
We both flipped around to see Bruce emerging from a small hole in the ground. It was partially hidden by a rock, which is why we didn't notice it in the first place. Bruce approached us and touched the side of the cage.
It's where I kept Aiden, the other wither.
Bruce seemed really upset and he started to cry.
I've made so many mistakes. All of this is my fault. I need to fix what I broke.
Not like this, Dad. Don't sacrifice yourself. You only give him what he wants.
Bruce didn't say much else, but we followed him into a small cave. We stayed there for a while to rest up while I devised a plan. On days 90 to 94, I woke up to Bobby yelling at Bruce.
It's not your responsibility.
Yes, it is. Don't try to stop me, Bobby. I'm doing this for you. For all of you.
What about Zozo? He promised he would help us, and he will.
I can't let someone innocent pay for my mistakes. Not anymore. Sacrifice for them.
I knew what I needed to do.
Bruce went back to his room in a huff, and I came up to Bobby. I know what I have to do. Just promise that you won't follow me, and make sure your dad stays here.
Is this goodbye, Zozo?
No, I'll be back. Don't you worry. Bobby nodded and then went up to the opening of his dad's room. We lured Bruce towards the cage, telling him that we found something interesting in there. When Bruce wasn't looking, we pulled him inside the cage and locked the door. He looked stunned. This is for your own good, Bruce. Don't follow me. He sat there and begged me.
Please, Zozo.
It's okay, Bruce. It's what I'm supposed to do. On days 95 to 97, I continued flying toward the volcano. It spewed lava here and there, but I dodged past it. When I was a good distance away, I stopped and hovered. Aiden, I've come to talk to you. The voice I heard before let out an ugly scream and spewed more lava at me.
You dare to call me what that monster named me?
I'm here to take his place, Aiden. I know you hate him, but he needs to live. Take me instead. I saw the lava spew out further, almost hitting me.
Why would you sacrifice yourself for such measly humans?
Because it's the right thing to do. The voice laughed.
Oh, this will be fun.
I moved closer to the volcano to see if I could spot Aiden. Suddenly, the volcano reached out and snatched me, pulling me into its burning embrace. Everything went black. On day 98, I woke up inside the lava. I heard the voice of the volcano.
Well done, Zozo.
I felt a powerful surge run through me, and I burst from the ground into the air. I leveled up into a full-sized wither. But then I felt a different kind of power. It was much bigger and stronger than me. I realized I could control the volcano. I focused my energy and forced Aiden to fly out. He was out of the volcano, but the fight wasn't over. He was as big as I was, probably stronger. But what choice did I have? I flew toward him, spewing lava and shooting witherheads. He fired witherheads back at me, but at long last, one of my wither skulls knocked Aiden down. On day 99, I approached Aiden. He looked like a normal wither like me, but he shook with anger.
How dare you! That was my home!
You have no right to use all that power for evil. This ends here, Aiden. I commanded the lava to burst up and around him and solidify to his body, caging him in. He was stuck, and he knew it.
Let me go! I have to make them pay! They're all evil and can't change. They don't deserve to live.
You're wrong, Aiden. And with that, I slashed at Aiden and defeated him.
Thank you, my friend. You have proven yourself worthy of my power.
The volcano spoke to my mind, and I felt a stronger connection with it. I was now its guardian, if I stayed worthy of it. It felt right. On day 100, I freed Bruce and told him the good news. He followed me and Bobby back to the village, where we all lived happily and safely. The people celebrated, and I finally made some chocolate chip cookies. We also finished the last part of the statue, and it looked awesome. Everything was right on the island. Finally. On day 1, I spawned in as a fire witherstorm, a force of pure fiery destruction. Why am I so puny? I only had 6 hearts to begin with, but I knew witherstorms grew stronger by absorbing blocks and mobs. I tried to absorb some of the nearby blocks and grow bigger, but it didn't work. Maybe I needed to unlock that ability first. It also looked like I couldn't really fly yet. At least I'm immune to fire. The area I spawned into was a molten lava field that would be really dangerous for regular mobs. It was like home sweet home, but there was nothing to destroy. I didn't see any other witherstorms either, so I figured I had been left behind by the others while they went off to grow bigger. Wait for me, guys! I ran around looking for my friends until I saw something really strange. There was a snowy biome right next to this fire one. What's the deal? Everyone knows that fire and ice don't mix. I heard a growl behind me and saw a fire Cerberus looking really hungrily at me. Hey, witherstorms aren't nutritious! I hit the Cerberus, but because I was so small, the damage was nothing. I was losing hearts fast to its bite, so I decided to run away. I ended up running straight into a Vex that wanted a piece of me too. All of a sudden, Fireland doesn't feel that much like home. I jumped down into a lava pit and hid myself away. I knew they couldn't follow me because of my fire immunity, so I stayed there safely until the next day. On day 2, I hopped out of the lava pit and found some burnt out trees. It wasn't what I was expecting, but at least I could gather some wood to make my first tools. I've never seen a wither make anything before, but it's nice to be the first at something. These tools would probably burn up if I used them here, so I made my way towards that snowy biome that I saw the other day. On the border between the fire and ice biomes, there was a wide river with a strong current. If I try to cross that, I'll be put out like a campfire. I didn't have enough wood to build a bridge, so I followed the banks of the river to see if there was a place where it was safe to cross. That's when I noticed something small flying towards me from across the river. It was an imp with icy wings.
Do not cross this river.
I'm warning you, Fireface.
That's rude. First of all, my name is Zozo. Second, why do you care if I cross it?
It's not me who cares. The Ice Meister is the one who doesn't want anyone from the Firelands coming over here.
I'm a Witherstorm first, and a fire creature second. I'll go where I want.
My warning still stands. There's a war going on, and Ice Meister plans on winning it.
A war between the creatures of ice and fire? That sounds heated and chilling.
Steer clear of it, Fireface. Zozo.
Thanks. I finished the day by mining some stone blocks from the side of the river with my new set of tools. On day 3, I started building a base on my side of the river with some stone blocks as the foundation. Whoever this Ice Meister guy is, he can't be mad at me if I don't leave the Firelands. I was still really weak for a fire Witherstorm and needed something to protect me from all the wandering mobs until I could unleash my full potential. I was betting that the mobs could sense my true potential, and that's why they were attacking me. Almost done putting up the walls, I'll be safe now. It turned out I spoke too soon, because a dread beast ran inside the base and started trying to infect me with its plagues. I pulled out my wooden sword and swung away at the mob. The wooden sword caught on fire as soon as I started using it. It felt good to be the one attacking for a change, probably because I hadn't gotten to do any actual destroying yet. With the final blow, the wooden sword got destroyed, but I downed the beast. Bye-bye, beastie. Hey, I wonder if I can use my absorb ability on it now. Come on, let's go! Absorb! The ability actually worked this time. The dread beast and a bunch of the surrounding blocks got added into my body. I had gotten way bigger, and my total number of hearts was 14 now. I had 3 tentacles now instead of none. I could make 3 times as many melee attacks now. The only downside was that absorbing more material into myself made part of my base disappear. I better be careful what I absorb in the future. I replaced the blocks that got absorbed and made sure to finish the foundation, and replaced my broken wooden sword with a new stone one. This one should last longer now. I plan to go and gather more stone tomorrow. On days 4 to 5, I went looking for more stone by the riverside. This time, I noticed that part of the river was frozen solid, like somebody had built a bridge of ice blocks over the running water. If I tried to walk on it, the ice would melt. But something told me the ice and snow mobs wouldn't have the same problem. I was right. There was already a taiga zombie on the fire side of the river.
How many times does the Ice Meister need to teach a lesson?
Hey, I've stayed on my side. Why can't Ice Master stay on his?
It seems you don't remember what you used to be.
What did I used to be?
You were the Ice Meister's greatest rival, the leader of all the fire mobs in this world. You almost melted all of the snow zone before he defeated you.
Whoa, I used to be the ruler of the fire side of the river? That's really cool. What happened that made me so small and weak?
That's not your business anymore. I'll destroy you before you become that powerful ever again.
The taiga zombie clearly wanted a fight, so I made sure to give it one. The zombie had only one weapon, and I had 3 tentacles and a stone sword, so he was quickly outmatched. I won! Now I'll absorb you too. The absorption didn't work this time, which probably meant that the ice mobs were totally immune. That was disappointing, but important to know. I finished off the zombie and gathered as much of the stone as I could before my wooden pickaxe broke. I went back to my base with the stone I gathered. If there really is a war, I need to get fortified. On days 6 to 8, I found some lost tentacles lying around in the Firelands. I wonder if these used to be mine when I was big and strong. The mysteries grow deeper. I couldn't attach them back onto myself, but I did know of another way to put them to good use. First, I had to gather sticks from around the burnt trees. Next, I upgraded my wooden tools to stone. This let me mine for a couple ingots of iron and gold beneath the Firelands. With access to both sticks, gold, and iron, I was able to craft a hook. Then, I combined the lost tentacles with my hook in order to make a tentacle grab. This special item would let me grapple enemies and keep them from getting away. It would be perfect for keeping mobs within melee range. Not long after I crafted the tentacle grab, I noticed a few ice mobs on this side of the river. They were ice piglins, and they were not happy to see me. Get out of here! Go tell Ice Meister that I survived, and I'm going to become big and strong again. They started moving towards me. Time to test out my new weapon. I quickly struck down the first mob, and then the second. I then snared the ice piglin with a tentacle grab and pulled him in for a tentacle beatdown. Bet you weren't expecting that. Those old lost tentacles were good for something after all. The piglin was defeated. Ice Meister would have to do better than that if he wanted to eliminate me for good. And next, I was going to strike back. It was time to see what this snowy biome was all about. On days 9 to 10, I gathered as much stone as I could find and built a sturdy bridge over the river. Now I can cross over to Ice Master's side of the river and see what I'm up against. The snowy biome had tons of materials that I had never seen on the fiery side of the river. There are blocks of lapis, and the polar bears dropped some pelts, which I used for decoration on my base. I continued through the tundra, seeing all sorts of wonderful things along the way. This was a nice area. It would be a shame if I had to burn it all down. That's when I saw him, Ice Meister. Memories of the last time we fought came flooding back to me. I was a lot bigger than I am right now when I lost to him, but it seemed like he used some kind of enchantment on me. I had to find out more. I approached Ice Meister confidently. Remember me?
It can't be. You're the Fire Witherstorm from across the river.
That's right. And you're going to stop sending ice mobs into the Firelands, or we're gonna have a problem.
Pathetic little puff of smoke. I'll let you live just this once, but only because I've already sealed your power away.
I didn't know what he meant, but I had the feeling he wouldn't be so understanding if I stuck around. I turned back towards the river so that I could make my way home. When I got to the stone bridge, I noticed a brown bear halfway over the bridge.
Oh, hey, don't mind me.
Please, don't tell me you're another ice mob invading my territory.
Me? Not at all. I'm trying to get somewhere warmer. Are you from the Firelands?
Actually, I used to be top dog over there. I am Zozo, the Fire Witherstorm.
I'm Reginald. All the other bears like the cold, but I'd rather be in a nicer climate. Everywhere Ice Meister goes, he freezes the terrain and starts building cities made out of ice.
Well, then you'll be right at home in the Firelands. It'll always be warm there. On days 11 to 12, Reginald and I returned to my base on the fire side of the river. I soon made an extra room for him with a sunroof so he could get the most out of the pleasant weather. After that, I went to mine for more iron with my stone pickaxe. Because of all the lava, the Firelands were rich in obsidian, which I could gather later. It's a sturdy material that would make my base stronger. But before I could get enough ingots, I was ambushed by a wildkin. It did a ton of damage with a single attack. Ow, my heart! I couldn't get any further into the iron mine with that mob down there, so I ran back above ground. I have to unlock more of my former abilities. What else do Witherstorms do? I concentrated as hard as I could on one of the nearby magma cubes. With some effort, I was able to fire a Wither Skull projectile. The mob was destroyed in one hit. Wither Skulls, that's it! The Wildkin would take more than a few Wither Skull attacks to be defeated, but I could at least weaken it before it got close. I went back down into the iron mine and put my plan into action. The Wildkin was waiting for me, so I wasted no time blasting him with 3 Wither Skulls. Now I could fight at close range without worrying about getting worn out. The Wildkin's claws were still doing damage to me, but I had 3 tentacles, so my attacks were much faster. Once I beat him, I crafted an iron pickaxe and mined the obsidian from the surface of the Firelands. This obsidian will look great on my base. I was right. The obsidian made a perfect addition to the outer walls. My base was becoming a real fortress. On days 13 to 15, I started to remember more of what happened back when I was a fully grown Fire Witherstorm. I was huge and absorbing everything in sight. I remember the terrain being covered in ice, but unlike the snowy biome next door, it was the middle of the ocean. I must have been able to fly here from the Firelands. Down below, I saw Ice Meister. He was slightly smaller than the present day, so this must have been his younger self. You're not so tough. Move aside, Pipsqueak.
I won't let you destroy my home.
He sounded really upset, and from the look of things, it seemed like I was the one who had attacked first. I saw Ice Meister hold a black block, and it began absorbing me. No, impossible! My destructive power!
Your true form is sealed now. It will never escape this enchanted block.
I fell down to the ground, a tiny and weak version of what I used to be. I'll be back one day. Ice Meister called some other snowmen to put me on a block of ice, which floated away from this land and down the river to the Firelands. Back then, the Firelands were on both sides of the river. The dream ended there. It seemed like Ice Meister just wanted revenge because of what I did, but he showed mercy to me the last time I was there in spite of that. I can't believe I used to be the bad guy. I should just leave the ice mobs alone from now on. That might be the only way to make up for all the destruction I caused when I was big. On days 16 to 19, I decided to tell Reginald about the memories I was having. I felt really bad about what I did, so I needed to talk to a friend. I thought Ice Meister was the bad guy, but it turns out I made him that way because I bullied him and melted his home.
That is a lot. Have you thought of saying sorry and trying to do something nice for him?
I might have messed up too badly for that. There's no way to undestroy something.
Being sad about it won't fix the problem neither.
You wouldn't get it. I ran away from the base, leaving Reginald behind. He was better off without me anyway. I was a destructive bad guy, and he was just a regular bear. How could he understand what I was feeling right now? While I was out wandering the Firelands, I saw a village under attack by taiga zombies. Oh no, I have to help! Without even thinking, I raced to the aid of the villagers. The zombies were easier to defeat this time, now that I was bigger and I could clear out several at once. The villagers cheered as I drove the last of the ice mobs off. Their home was saved, and I actually felt good. The Firelands were attacked because of me, but I'm going to save them anyway. I can't change the past, but I will stop this war and save my home.
Thank you, Zozo. We were hoping someone would protect our village from the ice mobs, but we never expected you would return to save us.
I'm back, and better than ever. The villagers brought a large stack of blocks out of their houses and set them down in front of me.
We were storing these blocks for you to absorb, so you could become strong again.
You're not afraid of my true form?
No way! You were always nice to us fire mobs, and with you around, nobody messed with us. Go on, absorb those blocks.
I did what the villager said and became an even larger fire WITHERSTORM. My total number of tentacles was 5, and I had 3 heads now. Hi, hello. My armor and hearts were both increased too, with iron level durability and 25 hearts. I was really starting to resemble my old self. In a good way, I hoped. Do you villagers know anything more about how I used to be?
We do know one thing. The legendary block that contained your true form was hidden away by Ice Master after he defeated you the first time. If you can find that, you'll be back to full power in no time.
Full power! I like the sound of that. Even though taking my old form could make me a bad guy again, I decided to find the sealed block anyway. If I'm going to end this war, I may as well be prepared to do whatever it takes. On days 20 to 22, I went back to the base so I could apologize to Reginald for running away. I found him outside the base, fending off some polar bears.
It's over, Reginald. You're coming home with us.
No, this is my friend's base, and I'm protecting it until he comes back.
You're a fool. We were right to kick you out of the Polar Bear Club.
I ran over to help. Reginald, I'm back. I'm so sorry I yelled at you.
Oh, it's the firestorm. Retreat.
The polar bears ran away in fear in the sight of me.
Thank you, Zozo. I'm glad you came back.
What are friends for? Now that the base was safe from the ice mobs, I started laying the foundation for a statue. I would need a lot of obsidian, so I got to mining as much as I could. With my pickaxe, I diverted part of the river into the Firelands to create even more obsidian where the lava was flowing freely. This also let me improve the base with a moat that even the ice mobs would have trouble crossing. I made sure to give it a drawbridge, and I filled it with lava. That should be enough obsidian to get started. What do you think I'm building? Also, subscribe to Zozo if you want to see more of my adventures. On days 23 to 26, the base was attacked by more ice mobs. Those polar bears who bullied Reginald must have told Ice Master where I was. There was a whole pack of frost stalkers trying to get in. They were some strong mammoths, but fortunately, they weren't the kind that were clever enough to open doors. Thanks to the blocks I absorbed in the village, I was big and strong enough to give them a real thrashing. The last one to be defeated dropped their pelt, which I used to craft a frost stalker cloak. With this, I could disguise myself as a frost stalker and infiltrate the snowy biomes. I traveled over the stone bridge and into the cold forest where the frost stalkers lived. The cloak's disguise worked like a charm. I could tame the frost stalkers and have them keep other mobs out of the forest. The trees here were made of spruce wood, which couldn't be found in the Firelands. I should take some home with me since I'm here. I would have stayed longer, but I was worried about being discovered by the Ice Meister. I went back to the base and built myself a fireplace that would put the spruce wood to good use. When I went back outside, I saw a fire elemental hanging outside the walls of the base.
Excuse me, is this where the resistance is?
Resistance?
You know, the resistance against Ice Meister and his army of ruthless conquerors. Some villagers told me that the Fire WITHERSTORM was coming back. Is that you?
Yep, that's me.
Oh wow, I'm your biggest fan. I wanted to join up with you and help save our home.
You're a fan of me? Wow, I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I'll let you in. It's safer inside of the base.
Sweet.
I added a room made completely out of obsidian to the base for the fire elemental to live inside. On days 27 to 31, I had another vision, but this time it wasn't from the past, but from the present. I could feel my sealed destructive power calling out for me from inside the enchanted block. It seemed like it had been locked away inside of some kind of underground vault. I didn't get to see the outside of the chamber, but my best guess was that the entrance was somewhere in the snowy biome. I went to the stone bridge in order to cross, but saw that it had been destroyed while I was away. That must have been the Ice Meister's doing. It looked like the mob who did it was still there. A ferocious Yeti that was bigger and badder than any ice creature I had faced yet. It snarled and charged at me. You may have wrecked my bridge, but I'm a lot tougher. I launched a Wither Skull at him before hitting him with the tentacle grab. The Yeti attacks were strong, but so were mine. After fighting the big lug for a bit, I let go of the grapple and pushed him into the river. The fast-moving current washed him far away. I jumped over the gaps of the bridge and made it to the other side. On days 32 to 35, I came across a village of Icemen. They'll probably attack me if they find out who I really am. I'd better blend in. I used the Frostwalker cloak in hopes that they'd think I was just a mammoth passing through. It didn't really work.
It's the leader of the fire mobs!
Darn it, there goes that plan.
What do you want with us?
Don't be afraid, I'm not a bad guy anymore. I just want my powers to be unsealed. Do you know where the Ice Meister is keeping the block?
I can tell you that it's not anywhere in the Snowlands. Ice Meister didn't want you to invade us looking for it.
I'm not invading, I swear.
Like we'd believe you.
It wasn't on this side of the river. That was bad news on its own. It was even worse because the villagers were really scared of me. I figured I might as well leave, and then Ice Meister showed up.
What's this, Iceman? Are you seriously being friends with a fire mob? That's not cool.
No, Ice Meister. It's the leader, the Fire Witherstorm you sealed away.
That's even worse. I should have you all frozen for this betrayal.
Hey, don't blame them. I'm the one you want.
And you. I told you I'd only spare you once.
Then come and get me. Ice Meister started chasing me, so I ran away from the Iceman village back to the river. Thinking quickly, I took a risk and jumped in. The water would deal damage to me, but I had enough hearts to withstand it now. I had gotten away from the Ice Meister, but the current took me for a ride. That was until I hit an ice bridge further down the river and was able to swim back to shore. It was the Icemen. They had come to save me.
Thank you for distracting Ice Meister. He's gotten really angry lately, and he's obsessed with war. You protected us, so I guess we misjudged fire mobs.
No sweat. Come on, follow me back to the base. On days 36 to 39, I made some big changes to the base, so the Icemen who were staying here wouldn't be too uncomfortable with the heat. I carefully made a big pool filled with water for them to cool off. You can never have enough water fun. Well, I can, but you guys have a good time.
You got that right.
Now that you're all here, why don't you tell me more about that block that contains my true form?
Ice Meister said he hid it in a place that is neither fiery or icy, a pasture with a balanced climate and huge fields of crops.
It sounds like there wouldn't be any war happening there.
Yeah, wherever it is.
After talking to the Iceman, I did some more work on my statue. I've moved past the foundation, and it's starting to take shape. Do you know what it could be? On days 40 to 43, the base was visited by a friendly dragonfly.
Salutations! I've heard that you're trying to take the fight to the Ice Meister.
You heard correctly.
All right, it just so happens that I know about a way to upgrade your Wither Skulls.
Oh, tell me!
There's an ice mob outpost upriver from here, where they're keeping the power-up, which will turn your Wither Skulls to blue Wither Skulls. It's guarded by a goat centaur archer, so be careful.
Followed the dragonfly's advice and went to the outpost. As soon as I got there, the archer started opening fire. I avoided the arrows and struck back with my Wither Skulls. Kablam! I'm a pretty good shot. Inside the outpost was the blue Wither Skull power-up. I absorbed it, and my projectile attacks became twice as strong. These blue ones do serious damage. I felt the call of my sealed self further upriver, so I decided to trust that feeling and keep going. On days 44 to 49, I was astounded by how beautiful the biome around me was. There were crops growing everywhere, and the grass was lush and green. So this is what the world would look like if fire and ice weren't fighting? There were still dangers out here. A whole pack of coyotes tried to eat me, but I was too spicy. That's a fire joke. The coyotes turned away from me and ran back into the field of crops. I saw them a couple seconds later chasing a poor scarecrow.
Help! Help! If only I had a way out of this mess!
Hang on, I'm coming! I ran in and smacked the coyotes with my sword, scaring them off. Why were they chasing you? I thought coyotes ate meat.
They're vegetarian coyotes, and most of my body is made out of vegetables.
Oh, glad I could help.
I'm Straw Bastion. Feel free to make yourself at home. There are plenty of crops here, all nourished by the magical power source we keep underground.
This magical power source wouldn't happen to look like a black block, would it?
Oh, I've never seen it personally. All I know is that it has a great fiery power which can keep the ground nice for cultivating crops.
That has to be my sealed form! On days 50 to 53, I followed Strawbastian as he showed me around his peaceful land. I was keen to get my hands on my true form, but I didn't want to scare him since he seemed like a nice guy. Has this place always been so peaceful?
There isn't any great war, if that's what you're asking. But we do have our own problems.
Like what?
Look around. All this delicious food and nobody to eat it. Every season, so much of it goes bad because the people in the surrounding lands don't come to visit.
Well, I'll make sure that changes.
That reminds me, there's another traveler here.
Oh, how nice. Do I know them? Turns out I did. The Yeti who broke my bridge jumped out and attacked me. He must have swam all the way back up. Let's finish what we started. I grappled him and we began to fight. Strawbastian got scared, so he ran away. I wanted to go check on him, but I had to teach this Yeti a lesson first. Don't break people's stuff! I hit him with my Wither Skull and the Yeti was no more. After the fight, I looked around for Strawbastian but couldn't find him. I guess I'll come back later. I was walking home when I ran into another vegetable person. This one had a tomato for a head. Wait, are tomatoes fruits or vegetables?
What's it to ya?
Sorry, I'm just looking for the legendary enchanted block. How do you get to it?
You gotta dig for it, but you'll need better tools than that. There's a garden shed nearby with a strong shovel you can use.
I took the Tomato Man's advice and found a diamond shovel inside of a nearby abandoned shed. The shed was too small for me, so I used my tentacle to pull the shovel towards me without damaging the shack. On days 54 to 57, I told everyone at the base about the peaceful fields upstream. All the fire and ice villagers were excited about all the food there and wanted to visit. To make the journey easier, I made rowboats out of the spruce wood. While I was working, Reginald came outside to join me. He said he wanted to ask me something. What is it, buddy?
I wanted to mention something about this place with all the vegetables.
Doesn't it sound amazing?
It does, for everybody else. But bears don't eat greens. We prefer fish, and lots of it.
Oh, I get what you're saying. You want me to rustle up a source of fish so that you can have your favorite food too.
Yeah, as long as it's not too much to ask.
You've got nothing to worry about, my friend. I decided to go fishing, but not with nets or fishing poles. I dug a gigantic hole in the ground. It was big enough to be a pond. Just add water. Reginald would have all the fish he needed right here at the base.
Thank you so much. Here's a weapon I think you could use. Like you, it's a destroyer.
Reginald handed me a powerful breaking weapon. My excavations would be a lot easier with that bad boy in my arms. On days 58 to 62, the statue was really starting to come together. You could almost guess what it was going to be. A new wave of ice mobs suddenly broke through the base's defenses. There were ice piglins, frost stalkers, and even new enemies I hadn't seen before. Who let them in?
Zozo, help!
I saw Reginald being attacked by those polar bears again. Thinking quickly, I put on my Froststalker helmet and sent some of the Froststalkers to deal with them. Reginald and I ran away to another part of the base together. When we were there, we saw that the fire villagers and icemen were fighting. Hey, break it up! What's going on here?
I knew we couldn't trust the people of the Snowlands.
You're the ones who couldn't accept us.
Enough! I shouted loudly and got everyone's attention. I probably scared them, but at least they stopped fighting. Stay here and don't hurt each other. I'll go deal with the enemies outside. Reginald, you're in charge.
Yes, sir.
I left Reginald and the villagers in the safe place behind my house and fought back the ice mobs single-handedly. There was one friend I hadn't seen in there, and I was becoming worried. Come on, Fire Elemental, where are you? I discovered him at the drawbridge, surrounded by ice mobs. They had already depleted most of his health by the time I got there. I wanted to do something, but it was too late.
Sorry, Zozo. I thought we could win, so I called for a battle.
It's okay. I'm here now. We'll win.
Oh, good. You can do it, Zozo.
With that, the fire elemental faded away. He had been so brave, and unlike me, he wasn't coming back from this. This was Ice Meister's fault, and he was going to pay. On days 63 to 66, I went to the Snowlands and tried to convince the local creatures to stop the war. This battle is between Ice Meister and myself. None of you need to get involved. If you don't want to fight me, there is a place at the top of the river with plenty of food and no war. If you stay here, Ice Meister will force you to invade the Firelands. A few of them seemed to listen and started heading upstream, but one ran out of the crowd of snow creatures and attacked me.
For Ice Meister, I will defeat you. You cannot be allowed to reclaim your true form.
He was strong, so I had to fight back. At least I wasn't picking on the weaker ones. Stop it! More fighting is not the solution.
It's too late. You already melted our home once, and most of the world too. How do you think the Firelands ended up burned and destroyed?
I did that?
Yes, you are the Fire Witherstorm. You are the true evil in this world.
Please, I'm going to be nicer. You don't have to do this. He wouldn't listen. I had no other choice. I defeated him with a blue wither skull attack. The other ice creatures ran away. I'm sorry. On days 67 to 70, I caught up with some of the other ice mobs that had gone to the crop field. At least they are safe. I saw some ruins in the distance and went to check them out. With the destroyer, I started to dig into the earth until I came upon a vault made of bedrock. Even the destroyer couldn't get through this, probably because of enchantments. I dug around more and found an entrance, but it was guarded. Somehow, this guardian seemed familiar.
I was wondering when you'd show up.
Who are you? And why do I feel like I know you? That's when I received another memory of the past. I saw myself as a fire witherstorm raging across the land. I saw everything on both sides of the river get turned to ash and lava. By my side the whole time was my loyal pack of Cerberus mobs and their leader, Tartarus. The same Tartarus that was standing in front of me, guarding the entrance to the vault. Tartarus?
You remember now?
I don't understand. Why are you guarding the vault, buddy? My true form is inside of there, and I need it to defeat Ice Meister.
The only thing you need is to return home and give up on this quest for the legendary block.
I can't do that. People have gotten hurt because of this war.
People have gotten hurt because of you too. I'm here to stop you from becoming your worst self again.
Even if that means Ice Meister becomes my worst self instead?
Yes, even if that happens.
Then I'm sorry for what I have to do. As Tartarus and I began to fight, all of his special attacks started to come back to me. I avoided his breath weapon and his breaking claw strikes. I pelted him with wither skulls until we clashed head to head. You were really strong, old friend. Sorry again. I drew the destroyer and swung it at him, but he dodged and ran away. Rather than chase after him, I checked the vault for my sealed form. On days 71 to 74, I entered the room that had haunted my dreams. This was definitely where the block that held my true form had been. I said had been because it wasn't there now. Someone had taken it. I felt its call again from far away and realized immediately what had happened. Tartarus must have been keeping the block in his own inventory. He was really determined to keep me from returning to my full self. He's probably on his way to Ice Meister right now to hide the block again. I didn't want to have to fight Tartarus again, but if he was with Ice Meister, the two of them would be unbeatable at my current level. Dejected, I left the empty vault behind. On days 75 to 78, I asked the Froststalkers I had recruited during the Ice Mob attack what they eat. Like Reginald, the Froststalkers ate fish too, so I used the destroyer to make the pond bigger. All of them will have enough to eat now.
You've really made this place feel like home for me. Have this. I think it'll help.
Reginald gave me a book with an enchantment that could make me take no extra damage from water. Thanks, Reg. This will come in handy next time I cross the river.
You're welcome, pal.
Well, aren't we awfully buddy-buddy?
Oh no, Tartarus!
Seems like you have a new best friend. I should have known you'd leave me behind.
Tartarus, where is my true form?
Doesn't matter. You're not yourself anymore. I'm going to end this bitter memory, once and for all.
He lunged forward. I drew the destroyer. Run, Reginald!
Be careful, Zozo!
The second battle between me and Tartarus began. I could still sense his moves, but he was fighting like I'd never seen him fight before. It took everything I had to keep on fighting until I struck him down at last.
That was a good hit. You weren't totally different after all.
Tartarus, why?
Listen closely, because I only have time to say this once. I brought Ice Meister the legendary block, and he probably still has it.
That means I can get it back from him.
Yes, but pay attention. That sealed block has had its destructive energy reversed through enchantments. That's why all the plants grew so beautifully in that field above. They are all going to wilt away if you don't put it back.
But what about me? My power?
Looks like you'll have to make a difficult decision. I wish you luck.
Tartarus! Tartarus!
Hey, I'll still be there for you. Just absorb me, and I can help.
Okay, I absorbed Tartarus and grew even larger. I was close to a full-size Witherstorm now. I had 60 hearts and diamond-level durability. Thanks, buddy. I'll never forget my oldest friend. On day 79 to 84, I crossed the river without the bridge because I was too big to get swept up in the current. I took the forest route, saying hello to my friends the Froststalkers along the way. Hello.
Oh, hey there.
The voice came out of a nearby tree, or should I say, treant. Whoa, I didn't see you there.
Didn't mean to sneak up on ya. I'm the gardener of the field, and I've come to give this Ice Meister fella a stern how do you do.
How do you do?
Doing quite well, thank you. Yourself?
I'm actually looking for Ice Meister too. Believe it or not, we might be after the same item.
You mean the legendary power source that nourishes our crops?
Yep, I used to want to have it for a different reason, but I've decided it belongs in that vault where it can help people.
I like your thinking. You're not as mean and evil and scary as you look.
Thanks, I guess. I traveled together with the gardener until we saw a formidable fortress of snow and ice on the horizon.
I suppose that must be Ice Meister's place. I would keep walking, but I'm pretty tired. You could say I'm bushed.
Same, and I have a feeling that he's not going to make this easy for us to get the block back. How about we return to my base for now and discuss strategy?
I like where your head's at, all three of them.
On days 85 to 89, I told the gardener of the field everything about my journey so far, including how I used to be a bad guy when I was the ruler of the Firelands, and how I was trying to stop the war.
Sounds to me like you've seen and done a lot of things since you first spawned into this world so long ago. Changing into a better person from who you were in the past isn't easy, but that's what growing up is all about.
If only I could make Ice Meister understand that. I don't think he'll ever forgive me, and that makes me sad.
Well, to be honest with you, Ice Meister and you might never be friends, but there's a lesson in that. You are a being of pure destruction who brings fire down upon the world, while Ice Meister creates snowy landscapes and gives a sense of urgency to all the creatures he meets. You two are polar opposites, and this world needs both of you.
Okay, I sorta understand, but how do I stop him from creating war? I just want the mobs to live in peace.
I'll let you in on a little secret, Zozo. I was the one who enchanted that block.
Wait, you helped seal my powers?
Yes, and look how it turned out. Don't you feel free now?
I do, actually.
Well, there is your answer. Together, we will free Ice Meister from his ambitions, and the war will come to an end. I'll enchant a new sealing block, but you'll need to gather the raw materials.
Done. On days 90 to 94, I searched high and low for as many emeralds as I could find. After that, I traveled to every village on both sides of the river that would let me in. Sorry, I know I'm scary. Little by little, news spread across the land that I only wanted to trade emeralds for bottles of enchanting. They started treating me like a regular guy, which I really appreciated, even though I was too big to get inside the villages. Throughout my travels, I gathered a whole bunch of bottles of enchantment and returned to the gardener.
These will do. Give me a few days and I'll have the seal ready.
Awesome! With some of the leftover enchantment bottles, I decided to give myself the fire aspect enchantment. It worked! My wither skulls had turned red and could now catch any enemy that they hit on fire. On days 95 to 97, I completed the statue. It had been a statue of TARDIS all along. I didn't even know that when I started building it, but I guess there are some things you never forget, no matter how much you change. My oldest and most loyal friend would now be remembered as a beautiful statue for all to see, and every time I saw the statue, I would remember him.
You've done all right, Zozo. Thank you for remembering me.
Tartarus?
Yep, it's me.
I heard his voice inside of my head. Okay, this is kinda really weird.
Don't worry, I won't be doing this all the time. Just wanted to tell you that I'm proud you chose to put the legendary block back where it truly belongs.
Well, some things are more important than getting back something you lost, or even being the most powerful fire witherstorm in the world.
You'll always be #1 in my book.
Thanks, TARDIS. On day 98, I told the villagers that they could all go home if they wanted to, because very soon, there wouldn't be a war on either side of the river.
But this is our home.
Oh, right. I guess you fire guys can stay. What about you, Icemen?
We're not sure. There were so many great memories in this place. I don't know if we want to leave yet.
Oh, stay as long as you like.
Well, I'm definitely staying.
Of course, Reginald. I wouldn't have it any other way.
You're gonna go fight Ice Master soon, aren't you?
Yeah, buddy. It sure seems that way.
Do your best, okay? And come back safe. This base is not a home without you.
Of course I'll be back. Shortly after that, the gardener walked in with the new enchanted block we'd be using to seal Ice Meister's evil side.
Zozo, my boy, it is time. The sealing block is complete. We're going right now to the fortress of Ice Meister.
All right, let's go. I said my goodbyes to everyone at the base. This adventure is almost at the most exciting part, so soon I'll be saying goodbye to you too. But don't worry, we'll have lots of other adventures together. Subscribe to the channel and go watch some of my other ones after this. There are so many to enjoy, like the time I spent 100 days as a lava wither. On day 99, the gardener and I returned to the fortress of Icemeister and found that it wasn't guarded at all. Where is everyone?
It looks like you've brought peace to this land after all, Zozo. Must have been all that traveling and trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, and most of all, he has no other mobs to fight for him. This is our chance! I blasted my way in and realized that I wasn't completely correct. There were traps everywhere that shot ice and snow at me and the gardener.
Oh, help! I'm not an evergreen tree. These cold temperatures are going to make my leaves fall off.
Just stay close to me. I'll keep you warm. A trapdoor opened up beneath us.
No, this is it!
No way! I jumped over the spikes and landed safely on the other side. Then I used my tractor beam to catch the gardener and grapple him to safety.
Thanks. You're using your fire WITHERSTORM powers for good. Never thought I'd see the day.
You're right. I don't have to be a bad guy, even though I'm fiery and scary. I can help people just the way I am.
Now you know. Let's go get your true form back.
You mean you're letting me have the other block?
Sure. The field only needs one at a time, and you've had your turn. Now it's Icemeister's turn.
I can't believe I'm going to be returning to my true form after all. This is so exciting. On day 100, the gardener and I came face to face with Icemeister. He was holding the block that contained my true form. It's over, Icemeister. Give back what you stole and we'll make this easy.
Easy? You think there's an easy way out of this? I don't think so. You're a fire WITHERSTORM, and you're bad to the bone. Your path of destruction won't stop as long as you still exist.
No, it stops now. I'm good, and I can prove it to you.
Zozo is telling the truth, Icemeister. Why don't you call it quits? Our plants need that block.
You mean this block?
Icemeister held up the block with my true form inside and absorbed it, becoming a terrifying new version of himself. As if that weren't bad enough, Icemeister also spawned a bunch of other snowmen to attack us.
Seize them, little ones!
The gardener looked at me and held up the new enchanted block.
I'll fire the sealing spell up. You keep him and his minions busy.
You got it. I unleashed all my powers on the miniature snowmen. I made sure to clear all of them out first before facing off against Icemeister.
You'll never defeat me, Zozo.
I already have. You thought absorbing that power you took from me would help you win, but destructive power like that should only be used responsibly.
And what would you know about that?
More than you'd think. We all get to decide who we are, and I've decided that this is my true form. As soon as I said that, I instantly grew back to full size. I had 180 hearts. Now the playing field was even. While the Icemeister was distracted, the gardener finished charging his spell.
Zozo, now, move!
I dodged out of the way as a beam shot forth from the block. In an instant, it absorbed Icemeister's evil form and left behind only a tiny snowball.
I'll get you for this!
Okay, but take your time. Maybe you could be the good guy this time. With the seal set in place, the gardener was able to save the crops at his field. Meanwhile, I went back to my base in the Firelands. It was peaceful for now, and I hoped that would last. Either way, it was a good day to be myself. On day 1, I spawned in as MIKEY from MAIZEN. Alright, JJ, what are we doing today? Wait, where's JJ? MIKEY is never without his best buddy JJ. Oh no, JJ must be in trouble. Luckily, I've got 8 hearts. It must be because I'm a turtle. I've got this tough shell to help protect me from danger, and I'm probably a really good swimmer. This'll help me find JJ for sure. I looked up and realized I'd spawned under a tree filled with apples, so I reached up to pick myself a thinking snack. But before I could take a bite, an arrow flew past my head. Oh no, skeletons! I grabbed as many apples as I could carry and ran away before one of their arrows hit me, since I had to stay in one piece to find JJ. Hey, what's the big idea? I'm just picking apples. I just kept running and running until I found a log cabin in the middle of the woods. It wasn't anything fancy, and it definitely needed some repairs, but it was cozy and a perfect place to hide for the night. There was even a lake right next to the cabin. Maybe I could go swimming once I was sure the skeletons were gone. And there were probably fish to catch in there for dinner. I just wish that JJ were here to see it too. On day 2, I went exploring around the lake and gathered some wood. I gathered enough wood to make an axe. I could use it to fix up the cabin for when I found JJ. Next, I went back to the apple tree to gather some more fruit. Hey, with enough apples, maybe I could even make a pie. But I didn't have the chance to think too much more about that because there was a gremlin chef coming up to pick apples too.
Please don't take all the apples. I need at least 4.
Don't worry, I left you plenty.
Oh, thank you. I was worried.
Have you seen my friend JJ? He's missing missing?
Don't know anyone by that name, I'm afraid. Someone in the village might. You should go ask around.
Thanks, I will.
Just be careful. Someone's been stealing animals and supplies around here. Maybe they took your friend, too.
I sure hoped not, but if JJ was in trouble, I would find a way to help him. Thank you, Chef. Good luck with whatever you're making.
It's pie.
Great minds think alike, and I guess he was pretty great. I took my apples back to the cabin, and along the way I found some sticks and string. I used them to craft a fishing rod and went fishing in the lake. I caught 3 fish. On day 3, I decided to work on fixing up the cabin as much as I could. I patched some holes in the wall and added a fence all around it for some extra protection. While I was working on the cabin, I found a secret back room. It was hidden behind a picture hanging on the wall. There was so much space back there. I had no idea. If I couldn't find that room without looking super carefully, then I was willing to bet no monsters would be able to find me in there either. I decided to make the secret back room my new base and got to work filling it with everything I found so far: the apples, the fish, and my tools. Then I went back to the lake to try and catch some more fish. Before I started fishing, I saw a block near the trees that looked a little strange. I used my pickaxe to break it open, and inside was a nasty silverfish. I should have been more careful. I knew they could contaminate blocks in some areas. I managed to fight off the silverfish, and when I got finished, I felt myself getting stronger. Defeating them made me a better fighter, and I knew I could handle the next enemy way better. Clearly, the exercise helped, because now I had 10 hearts. I was so excited, I swam around the lake, and I was an even faster swimmer too. What an exciting day, but I couldn't lose sight of my goal. I had to find JJ. On day 4 to 5, I was walking toward the village to see if anyone there could help me find JJ. On the way, I found a bush full of sweet berries. I stopped to pick some of the berries when all of a sudden I was surrounded by skeletons again. This time, there was no way for me to run away. Why are you doing this? What do you want?
The boss wants us to bring you to him, just like your little friend.
JJ, you know where he is?
Of course we kidnapped him. In the service of the fallen king.
Who is that?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Yes, I would. That's why I'm asking.
Enough talking. You're coming with us.
But I was stronger this time than I was before. I'd have to face them, and I wasn't going anywhere without a fight. The skeletons started closing in on me, but I pulled out my axe and started swinging as fast and as hard as I could. I wasn't sure if I'd make it. There were so many of them, but I fought hard and used my newfound strength and speed to get them tired out and taken down. Then I grabbed my berries and ran back to my base, safe and sound. But I still had so many questions. What did they do with JJ? Where did they want to take me, and why? And who was the fallen king? And what did he have planned? I needed to get a good night's rest, because there was definitely a big fight waiting for me in the days to come. On days 6 to 8, I found a cave in the woods where I could do some mining. I was going to need a lot more tools if I was going to find the fallen king and get JJ back from him. Wow, this cave is amazing! Look at all of this stuff! I found some flint, coal, iron, and even some gold. I took all the materials back to my base, crafted some furnaces, and crafted a pickaxe, a sword, a bow and arrow, and a pair of shiny gold boots. These will help protect me when I go up against those skeletons again. It had gotten pretty dark by the time I was finished, and I heard some strange noises coming from outside my cabin. I looked outside, and there were a bunch of ghast trying to get inside. They were floating by the fence, opening their mouths and getting ready to shoot fireballs at me. You picked the wrong cabin to mess with. If you just turn around and leave, we won't have to have any trouble. Otherwise, I'm going to get my bow and start firing arrows, and you won't like that very much. I waited for them to leave, but they didn't listen to my warning. Time to fight some ghast then. I grabbed my bow and shot the first arrow. Before long, they were retreating, running away from the cabin like they were scared of me. I guess they were. With my new equipment, I was even tougher than before. With the danger gone for now, I hopped into bed to get some well-deserved rest. On days 9 and 10, I finally made it into the village. I was looking for answers, but I was also looking for some more supplies. I couldn't keep eating apples, berries, and fish. I needed all my strength if I was going to find JJ and defeat the fallen king. But when I arrived in the village, something was wrong. All of the shops had their doors closed and locked, and no one was walking around outside. It was as if they were all hiding in their houses. Hello? Anyone here? But no one answered. Maybe they were scared of me, but why? I was just a friendly turtle, looking to buy some food and ask some questions. Someone opened their door and pushed out one loaf of bread, before closing it and locking it again. Oh, that must be for me. Thank you. I took the bread and headed back to my base. As I made my way through the woods, I saw a dark figure standing between the trees. He was wearing black armor with purple horns.
So, this is where you've been hiding.
Who are you?
Don't you know by now? After all, I am the one who took your friend.
The Fallen King. What have you done with JJ?
I'll tell you, if you just come with me.
Never! I drew my sword, ready to battle with him, when suddenly a friendly cat jumped out of a tree and landed in front of me.
No, don't do it. He's too strong to take on by yourself.
But he has JJ.
He took my friend too. I'll help you, but if you try now, you'll lose.
As I watched, the Fallen King sprouted a pair of purple wings and flew away.
I'll be back.
Then it was just me and the cat. What's your name, kitty?
Bella.
Nice to meet you, Bella. On days 11 to 12, I built another bed in the cabin so Bella could have a place to sleep. I just knew she and JJ were going to get along great once we saved him. Then the two of us went out to gather supplies for the coming battle with the Fallen King. She was really good at catching fish and didn't even need a rod to do it. Suddenly, she looked up at something.
Look out!
I turned to see what she was warning me about, and I saw a wither skeleton running toward me with its sword drawn. It hit me, and I fell to the ground, losing hearts. I tried to get up and fight back, but it hit me again, hard. I lost more hearts. Luckily, the wither skeleton didn't follow us, but the damage was done, and I was getting pretty worried. I went back into the mine and looked for anything I could use, and I found some more gold. Perfect! I hurried back home to craft a gold sword and went back out looking for the wither skeleton. It was still by the lake when I got there. This time, I was able to fight back and knock it down. Back at the base, I gave Bella my old sword. Now we're both ready to fight. While I was gone, she planted seeds for wheat and apple trees. When we finally got JJ back, I just knew he was going to love the amazing base we were making together. On days 13 to 15, I was working on the cabin when Bella came and found me.
There's something you need to see.
What is it?
I found a book. I think it's about the Fallen King. Take a look.
It looked like it was decades old, and the pages were almost falling out. I picked up the book and started to read. Long ago, there was a greedy king. He was an ordinary man, but his evil heart made him seem more like a monster. All day long, he would steal from his villagers, taking their food, their gold, and even kidnapping people to take to his castle. There, he would force them to compete in challenges for their freedom, trying to see which one was the strongest, the toughest, and the smartest. When he found the winner, he would defeat them in a challenge one-on-one to show that he was the very best in all the land. The people rose up and stormed his castle, rebelling against all the pain and strife he had caused. But the king had a secret plan in place, and just when they thought they had defeated him, he became something else. A shadowy warrior with purple wings and horns. He went into hiding, but promised to one day return to take back the throne once again. When the Fallen King returns, only a brave hero, led by the power of goodness and friendship, will be able to stop him. But what did any of that have to do with me?
It's you. You're the hero.
No, I'm just me. I can't defeat some magical king. I just want to get my friend JJ back so we can have fun exploring.
But
forget this. I didn't want to admit it, but I was scared. What if I wasn't strong enough? What if I let everyone down? JJ, Bella, and myself. On days 16 to 19, I woke up and noticed that Bella was gone. And when I looked outside, I saw footprints. Someone must have come to the cabin and taken her. But it didn't look like the work of the Fallen King, and I could see snow tracked on the ground that hadn't melted yet. I remembered that there was snow further up in the mountains around the forest. That must be where Bella is. I hiked up the mountain until the whole world around me was as snowy and icy as it could be. It took me 2 whole days to make it. But then I finally saw Bella. She was locked in a cage, guarded by snow nightmares. Bella, what happened?
I managed to escape these guys before I found you, but they must have tracked me down. You have to help me, please.
I'll do my best.
It's not just me either. Look.
I looked. The snow nightmares heard me planning and started closing in on me. I drew my gold sword and started to swing at them. They went down one by one, and suddenly I noticed myself getting bigger. I gained 2 hearts, and I had a total of 12 now. I released Bella from her cage, and together we fought off the rest of the snow nightmares. Then we freed the fox.
Thank you so much. How can I ever repay you?
What do you know about the Fallen King? He has my friend, and I have to defeat him. I knew now I could do it if I tried.
I've only heard a little bit, but I know there is supposed to be a legendary potion. The only way to defeat him for good, so he never comes back again.
Do you know where it is?
I'm sorry, I don't. I don't even know for sure if it's real.
And with that, the fox scurried away. But we knew more than we did before, and tomorrow we would start looking for the potion. On days 20 to 22, we made it back to the cabin and found it covered in even more gas. Get out of here, you creeps! I started firing arrows at them with my bow. They scattered before they could do any damage to the base, and Bella and I went inside.
Tell me more about JJ. He sounds pretty special if you're going to all this trouble for him.
He's my best friend. We do everything together. Or we did, before the Fallen King's skeletons kidnapped him. But he always knows how to have fun. He's the best at challenges, and he supports me through the good and the bad times.
Maybe we could do something to honor him, to remember what you're fighting for, like build a statue.
That's a great idea. Before I went to gather supplies for the statue, I placed torches all around the perimeter of the base. This should keep any more nasty monsters out. With that long overdue change taken care of, I went to harvest some wood for the great big statue we were going to build of JJ. I found some chickens and harvested their feathers. Back at the cabin, I cleared a whole bunch of grass and blocks to make space for the statue. Then Bella and I got to work building. It was so much easier with Bella there to help. Work always goes by faster when you have a friend lending a hand, or a paw. And hey, by the way, thank you for watching. If you liked the video so far, that would mean the world to me if you subscribed and turned on notifications. That way, you'll be sure to catch my next adventure. Thanks! On days 23 to 26, I was in the cabin when suddenly a skeleton came up to the door. He was wearing full armor and carrying a big, impressive sword. Get out of here, bonehead! I attacked him with my own sword and managed to chase him off. As he ran away, I noticed that he dropped something. It was a shield, a brigand shield to be exact. I decided to test it out. Bella, attack me with your axe.
What?
Just do it. I want to try something. She ran at me with her axe, and the shield protected me. It blocked every single blow. Wow, this thing is amazing. Just as I was preparing to test out my new shield some more, I heard someone rustling around outside the door to the cabin. If that's another skeleton. But when I looked, I saw a cat instead.
Bella, are you here? I heard from the fox that you found a safe place to stay. Kiki, it's you. This is my friend I told you about. How did you get away?
I managed to sneak out while the king was busy with something else. Someone named JJ helped distract him.
That's my friend. Was he okay?
He was, but he definitely needs help. But I'm so tired from running for days. Can I stay here, please?
Of course. I let Kiki inside and decided to ask her some more questions tomorrow. On days 27 to 31, I asked Kiki what she might happen to know about a legendary potion, the one that the fox had told us about.
I don't know much about it, but I do know someone who does. A wise old monkey who lives on an island not too far away.
So we'll need to find a boat.
Don't worry. I know someone who will let us borrow his. Come with me.
Kiki and I said goodbye to Bella and left to go get ourselves a boat and travel to see the wise monkey. We borrowed a boat from a kind man with a shop by the ocean and set sail toward the island. After a couple of days at sea though, we suddenly felt something hit the side of the boat, shaking it all over. What was that? I looked over the side of the boat into the water and saw a huge shark ramming itself into the boat. It snapped its teeth at me and tried to bite me. No way, we've got places to be. I shot an arrow at the shark, but I missed. It tried to bite the boat, but I fired another arrow. This time, I hit it. Wounded, the shark swam away and out of sight. I guess these waters are more dangerous than I thought. We'll have to keep an eye out for more trouble. Somehow, I had the feeling we would encounter more danger before we had everything we needed, but it was all worth it to find my friend. On days 32 to 35, we found a hut along the beach surrounded by palm trees full of coconuts. I stopped to pick some coconuts to take back to my base.
Hey, those are my coconuts.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know.
Excuse me, are you Wise Jim?
Who's asking?
I'm Kiki, and this is my friend. We heard you might know something about the legendary potion of light.
I might, but how do I know I can trust you?
We're preparing to fight the Fallen King. He has my friend, JJ, and we need to rescue him.
So you're looking for the potion, eh?
We all turned around, and there was the Fallen King, hovering over the water with his wings spread out wide.
You'll never find it, and you'll never defeat me.
Get ready for a beating, Fallen King. We won't let you get away with this.
Oh, really? You and what army? Find me when you're ready. Pathetic.
Then the Fallen King turned and left, leaving us looking on angrily. We turned to Wise Jim, the monkey. Would you like to come back with us to our base? It should be safer there.
Yes, please. Let me just pack a bag.
And he grabbed as many coconuts and bananas as he could carry.
Okay, now I'm ready.
So with plenty of snacks for the journey, we all boarded the boat together. On days 36 to 39, I had arrived back at the base with Kiki and our new friend, Wise Jim. Well, he enjoyed some bananas and took in the new view. Kiki, Bella, and me all got to work, building a new area for him to stay in. We added a treehouse onto one of the trees just outside the cabin. Here, this is just for you. We hope you like it.
Like it? I love it!
Once he was all settled, I decided to ask him what he knew about the legendary potion, or the Potion of Light.
The Potion of Light! Yes, I've heard many stories about it. I can't say for sure where it is hidden, but I do know that it is buried in an abandoned mineshaft out in the Badlands. But be warned, it is a harsh landscape, and there are no friendly creatures that live there.
The Badlands, huh? Sounds pretty bad. I'll need to make sure I prepare before I go. Before I could leave for the Badlands, though, Bella and I needed to work on the next part of the JJ statue. I couldn't help but feel like if I could finish it before I faced off against the Fallen King, I would be brave enough to rescue the friend it represented. With the power of friendship on my side, no Badlands monsters, skeletons, or even the Fallen King himself could stand in my way. From days 40 to 43, I headed down into the mines to look for some diamonds. I saw Kiki running out of a tunnel, screaming. What's going on?
Spiders! That tunnel is full of spiders!
Did you happen to see any diamonds in there?
I did, but the spiders were crawling around all over them. Yuck! I'm out of here.
Just a couple little spiders? I fought ghasts and skeletons. I can handle spiders. I took a look into the cave and saw the spiders all over the ground. They were pretty big, and I didn't want to get anywhere near them. So I fired an arrow at the spiders from a distance instead. They didn't like that too much, and they swarmed at me. One of them bit me, and it was poisonous. It brought me down to 2 hearts. I had to draw my sword and fight it if I wanted to survive. It was a close call, but I managed to defeat the spiders without breaking my sword or losing any more hearts. Yes. I scooped up the diamonds and rushed back to my base with them. There, I used them to craft a diamond axe, diamond sword, and diamond boots. Sparkly and super strong and durable. On days 44 to 49, I journeyed to the Badlands in search of the underground mineshaft where the Potion of Light was hidden. Wow, look at all of this sand, and it's so hot out. I hope I can find the potion fast. I'm already getting thirsty. As I was walking through the sand and looking for some shade to take a quick break in, I suddenly locked eyes with an Enderman. Uh-oh. But then I remembered, I was much stronger than I had been before, and I had all my upgraded gear. This was going to be a snap. After just a few hits, the Enderman went down. I was honestly kind of surprised at how easy it was. Maybe I could take on the Fallen King after all. Maybe it wouldn't even be that hard. As I kept walking, I saw more Endermen up ahead, attacking a horse. Hey, leave him alone! But the horse didn't need my help. He took down the Enderman all by himself and then galloped over to me.
Hi, I'm Ed.
I'm Zozo. I'm out here looking for a special potion. Have you heard anything about it?
I found the mineshaft where it was hidden, but it was gone. All that was left was a note saying it had been taken away and hidden somewhere else, by the ocean.
Oh, I guess I need to head that way then.
Are you trying to fight the Fallen King? Let me help you. Hop on my back, and I'll get you there faster.
So I jumped onto Ed's back, and we rode off into the sunset. On days 50 to 53, I rode on Ed's back all the way to the beach. After how dry and dusty the Badlands were, it was amazing to breathe in that cool sea air. Do you think we could take a break and go swimming, Ed? The water looks great.
Sounds like a swell idea to me.
So we hopped into the water and started splashing around. It was so much fun, and I couldn't wait to splash around with JJ when we finally rescued him. But that would have to wait. We had company. Oh no, it's the shark. That's right, the shark was back, and he looked hungry. He was a super scary enemy before, but that was before I got my diamond sword. Take that, Sharky! With a few strong hits, I was able to turn this shark into sushi, and Ed and I were safe again. Now it was time to look around. Maybe the legendary Potion of Light was around here somewhere. That's when we found a little cove on the edge of the beach and the friendly ocean nymph that lived there. I asked her about the note telling us we could find the Potion of Light on the beach, but she told us if the potion was ever here, it's gone now. Bummer! How am I ever going to fight the Fallen King and save my friend JJ? I think the friendly ocean nymph felt bad for me because she gave me a diamond helmet to match my axe, sword, and boots. I'm even tougher now. On days 54 to 57, I decided I needed to beef up the base's security to keep me and my friends safe from the Fallen King. After all, he's attacked us before, he could always do it again. Maybe the base needed a bigger wall, made of stone this time. If I mine enough stone to make a big strong wall, there's no way the Fallen King's forces are gonna get in and kidnap us. So that's exactly what I did. When I'd finished mining the stone and building the wall, I put torches along the top for extra safety. That's when Wise Jim came over.
Hey! I've been whipping up a new enchantment that'll help you defeat the Fallen King, but I need a favor. Some zombies have been hanging around my favorite banana tree. Go scare them off.
That enchantment sounded pretty sweet, so I grabbed my bow and arrow and went after the mob of zombies hanging around Wise Jim's favorite banana tree. I've gotten so strong now, these guys are no challenge for me. I ran in, firing arrow after arrow, until those nasty zombies were running for the hills. I know JJ would have been so proud of me. When I went back to Wise Jim, he gave my diamond sword an unbreakable enchantment, making it stronger and tougher than it had ever been. I bet the Fallen King is shaking in his boots. Don't worry, JJ. I'm almost strong enough to come and save you. On days 58 to 62, things got serious. It all started when I was working on my JJ statue. I think I was about half done, and it was looking great. I needed to make it perfect, so when I rescued JJ and all my new friends got to meet him, he'd be able to see what a good job I did. I was so wrapped up in making the statue perfect, I didn't even notice that some of the Fallen King's scariest goons were on their way. A gang of skeletons in full diamond armor with diamond swords.
This has gone on far enough. The Fallen King has sent us to crack your shell, destroy your base, and leave nothing standing. Give up or face our wrath.
But there was no way I was going to give in. I told Bella and Kiki to hold inside the base and make sure nobody got in, while Wise Jim and I took on the diamond skeletons.
Let's show these boneheads who's boss.
But the fight was way harder than we thought. The Fallen King must have sent some of his best men, because as we fought, they just wouldn't go down. Thankfully, Wise Jim and I fought hard enough to defeat some of the diamond skeletons and send the rest running. We were just about to celebrate when one of the fleeing skeletons fired an arrow from the woods and hit Wise Jim. No! I tried to help, but it was already too late. Wise Jim was gone. On day 63 to 66, I chased the diamond skeleton into the deep dark forest as he ran away. He destroyed Wise Jim, and I needed to avenge him. There was no way I'd let them escape, no matter how spooky the deep forest got. Get back here. You want to fight? Let's fight! I backed him into a corner and threatened him with my unbreakable diamond sword. Tell me, where can I find the legendary potion of light?
You'll never get it. It's being guarded by one of the Fallen King's strongest warriors at the bottom of the King's royal gold mine. And besides, you're not leaving this forest alive.
That's when the other surviving diamond skeletons came out of the woods around me. Oh no, this whole thing was a trap. They were trying to lure me away from the base this whole time. This is for you, Wise Jim. I'll never forget you. That's when I fought the strongest I ever fought and defeated all of the skeletons except one, who was shaking with fear. Thankfully, he could still be useful to me. Tell me, where can I find the Fallen King's royal gold mine? On day 67 to 70, using the last diamond skeleton's instructions, I made my way to the Fallen King's royal gold mine. It was huge and horrible. Villagers that the Fallen King had kidnapped were being forced to mine gold for him, or they'd be attacked by some of his skeleton warriors. Don't worry, guys, I'm gonna get you out of here. Who's the boss around these parts? The captured villagers told me to travel further into the mine, where I'd meet one of the Fallen King's strongest warriors, Dorzen, the Soul Eater, a huge red monster with a scary smile and a fist made of stone. He was so tough, even my diamond sword would have trouble hurting him. He was waiting next to a pit filled with lava. It isn't too late to give up, Dorzen. Tell me where to find the potion of light and let all these villagers go, and I won't have to hurt you. But Dorzen wasn't interested in talking this out. I don't even know if he could talk. He just attacked me and managed to take all of my hits while beating me again and again. He was for sure the toughest enemy I'd ever faced. It was such a big mistake to come here alone. Just as Dorzen was about to throw me into the lava pit, Ed the horse charged in.
Get away from my friend, you monster!
Ed charged right into Dorzen and knocked him over into the magma pit. Dorzen got burned and ran off. He'd probably think twice about messing with us again. Thanks for the save, Ed. On days 71 to 74, Ed and I searched through the mine to find where Dorzen may have been hiding the legendary potion of light. Ed was still grateful for me defeating the shark that attacked us on the beach, so he was more than happy to help me rescue JJ from the Fallen King. Eventually, after mining through some stone, we found a secret door that led into Dorzen the Soul Eater's lair. Talk about spooky! The place was dark, lit only by a few little torches, and scary-looking weapons on racks over the walls. There were even a few villagers locked up in a cage. We let them out, of course, along with all the others. But no matter how hard we looked, we couldn't find the potion of light. It didn't make sense. That skeleton told me Dorzen was hiding it in the Fallen King's royal gold mine.
Look, I found a note.
What does it say, Ed?
I don't know. Horses can't read.
He was right, so I took a look at the note. It came directly from the Fallen King. It said,
Well, it looks like you found your way into my mind. Exactly as I expected. You're an impressive one. I can see why JJ talks about you all the time. If you care about him, I suggest you stop looking, or both of you are going to get hurt.
Rats! Looks like the Fallen King was always one step ahead. On days 75 to 78, I headed back to the base to build some improvements and think about what I'd I'd learned. After Wise Jim died, I was worried about Bella and Kiki, and I realized that if more of the Fallen King's army attacked, they needed a safe place to hide. I added an iron safe room to the inside of the base with a secure door and torches to ward off mobs. If someone attacked, they could hide in there while I fought off the bad guys. I had also taken some gold from the Fallen King's gold mine and turned it into a chest plate and some leggings. That's when Dorzon the Soul Eater returned, and Bella and Kiki ran off to hide in the new safe room. It was time for me and Dorzon to finish this. He was tough, even with his lava burns, but with my new armor, I was able to get an edge and defeat him for good. Dorzon won't be eating any more souls. And for defeating such an evil monster, I got upgraded. I was bigger, stronger, faster, and my shell was tougher than ever. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see the Fallen King take me on now. That's when I noticed that Dorzon had dropped a note I was never meant to see, directly from the Fallen King. It read,
"Once you've captured Zozo, take him to my mountain castle. My other operative will meet you there."
And now, he's gonna be meeting me. On days 79 to 84, I traveled alone to the Fallen King's mountain castle, where Dorzon was going to meet another one of the Fallen King's goons. Surely this guy would be able to direct me to the king himself. But when I finally arrived at the castle, after 2 days of mountain climbing, I didn't find any monsters waiting for me. I turned to see a Viking named Bjorn walking up behind me, carrying a diamond axe.
Hello, my friend. I see you too are seeking the Fallen King. He kidnapped one of my friends too. Maybe we can work together.
That's a great idea. Let's do it. You can help me free my friend JJ, and I can help you free yours. Wait, how did you find out about this mountain castle, Bjorn?
Good question.
That's when Bjorn suddenly attacked me with his diamond axe. Thankfully, with my upgraded shell and a full set of armor, he couldn't do too much damage. I pulled out my diamond sword and hit him until he gave up and dropped his weapon. Bjorn was the Fallen King's other goon all along. Okay, Bjorn, if that is your real name, tell me where I can find the Fallen King.
It is my real name, and the Fallen King's true base is in the Dread Palace, in the volcanic magma fields.
But that's one of the most dangerous places on the map. How could anyone live there?
The Fallen King is undefeatable. He can live anywhere he likes. And if you think you can just waltz in there and defeat him, then you've got a death wish, kid.
On days 85 to 89, I made my way back to my base, feeling more doubtful than ever. Sure, I had a cool sword and a tough shell, but what's that worth compared to the Fallen King and his army of evil? What if there was no way for me to save JJ, and he just ended up being forced to mine gold for an evil king in a palace full of lava? I felt so down about all this that I decided to just go to bed. That's when Bella came and woke me up. She had some words of encouragement for me.
Don't you remember the story? You're the hero who's destined to defeat the Fallen King.
Maybe the story is wrong, Bella. He's so much more powerful than I thought. Even some of his foot soldiers were able to beat Wise Jim. How can I beat him? That's when Bella had a genius idea.
Maybe you can use your natural skills against him. You're a turtle. You have a tough shell. Maybe you don't need armor.
But why would I fight without armor?
Isn't it obvious? The Fallen King wears a huge set of heavy armor. It's tough, but it slows him down. If you go in there without your armor, you'll still be tough because of your shell, but you'll be able to run circles around the Fallen King. Maybe that's the edge you need.
It was a wild idea. So wild, it just might work. On days 90 to 94, I prepared for the final battle against the Fallen King and to rescue JJ. I removed my armor, just like Bella said. I was so much faster. I bet the Fallen King could never be this fast. I bet I can leave that meanie in the dust. But if I'm relying on my natural defenses, I'm gonna need to make sure I've got one heck of an attack. I needed to gather the material to upgrade my diamond sword and my bow. Enough that even the Fallen King and his strongest minions won't stand a chance. First, the sword. Using some of the knowledge from the books Wise Jim kept in his treehouse, I gave my unbreakable sword 3 more enchantments. Sharpness, which increases damage. Knockback, which knocks my enemies back when I hit them. And finally, Fire Aspect, which sets my enemies on fire when I hit them directly. I can't wait to show JJ this awesome sword when I rescue him. Next, I upgraded my bow. Just like my sword, I gave it extra power, which makes it do even more damage. Then I gave it knockback so I could stun my enemies and knock them off their feet. And of course, flame, so my arrows will set my enemies on fire, just like my sword. Ha! The Fallen King isn't going to know what hit him. Hang in there, JJ. I'm gonna defeat the king, save you, and set everybody free. Believe it. On days 95 to 97, I started to get nervous. Sure, I was a lot stronger and faster, and had way more powerful weapons than I used to, but every time I'd faced the Fallen King before, he was so scary, I needed to run away rather than defeat him. What if he's got even more tricks up his sleeve? No, I can't think like this. I can't let him get into my head. This is just what he wants. To try and calm my nerves, I decided to finally finish my JJ statue. Even if I was too weak to take down the fallen king and save my friend from his clutches, I'd have this statue to remember him by. But when I actually finished the statue, everything changed. I realized it'd been the first time in almost 100 days that I'd seen JJ. But this wasn't JJ, it was just a statue. It couldn't talk to me, play games with me, do fun Minecraft challenges with me. It couldn't do anything that JJ could do with me. It could just sit there and remind me that he's gone. That's it. I can't afford to be a coward. Even if I'm afraid, even if I'm in danger, it's worth the risk to get JJ back. I know I'm strong enough to do this. It's time to take the fallen king down. And when JJ is here again, he's going to see this awesome statue that I made for him. There's just one more thing that I need to do first. On day 98, I spoke to my friends at the base, Bella, Kiki, and Ed the horse. I told them that I was going to go to the Dread Palace, take on the fallen king, and get JJ back.
I want to come too.
Yeah, let me tag along. Let's take down this evil guy.
No! Kiki, Ed, you've put yourself in too much danger already. You two hang back and stay in the safe room. We've known each other the longest. We started this, so we'll finish this.
Nobody can disagree with that. The two of us took the time to discuss a battle plan before we set off. After all, the fallen king had always been one step ahead, so we needed to make sure that we would be 2 steps ahead if we wanted to beat him. And with that, we were ready to set off. Anything else you want to say? Seeing as this might be the last time we see each other, if this goes badly and the Fallen King captures us.
Good luck!
And make sure to subscribe to Zozo. Z-O-Z-O. We've got even more crazy, wild, and exciting adventures to come, where our hero fights diabolical villains, makes awesome bases and weapons, and meets more interesting friends, like us.
All of us agreed, and with that, Bella and I set off for the Dread Palace. On day 99, the assault on the Dread Palace finally began. Just as we expected, the Fallen King had the place heavily guarded. A bunch of diamond-armored skeleton warriors were assembled outside the front gate. But it's okay, we planned for this. Good luck, Bella, I believe in you. The first stage in the plan was simple. Bella would go in first with her cat speed and agility and distract the first wave of guards. With the skeleton army drawn away from the front gate, it was time for me to storm in and take charge. But of course, it wasn't that easy. In the opening hallway of the Dread Palace, the Fallen King had built in trapdoors that dropped down into pits full of molten lava. Yikes! Thankfully, I was able to dodge the trapdoors and keep going. But it wasn't over yet, not by a long shot. Once I made it past the first few hallways, the Fallen King deployed another one of his deadly minions, the Behemoth, a huge, extremely powerful monster. I needed to be careful. Even a couple hits from a monster like that would destroy me. But because I was only wearing my natural armor, just like Bella and I had planned, I could run circles around him. I hit him several times with my fully upgraded sword, setting him on fire and knocking him down for good. Is that the best you got, Fallen King? Maybe I underestimated you. Hey, over here! I recognized that voice. It was JJ. I'd finally found him. No time to waste. I ran over to the cell the Fallen King was keeping my best friend in and set him free. I was so excited to be hanging out with him again. But we weren't done yet. I told him to head back to our base. I have some unfinished business to take care of. On day 100, with JJ saved, I needed to make sure he and everyone else was never captured again. I needed to fight and defeat the Fallen King once and for all. I ran deeper into the Dread Palace, sword and bow ready to take on anything I saw. First, more diamond-armored skeletons, which I was able to take out with a quick volley of arrows. Bam! 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 They ran away, screaming and on fire. Then, a Behemoth and Soul Eater tag team emerged from the dark as I got even closer to the throne room. These guys would have seemed tough a while back, but after what I'd been through, nothing could stop me. I pulled out my enchanted diamond sword and went to work, setting them burning and running just like the skeletons. I felt unstoppable until I reached the throne room. There stood the Fallen King, and it looked like this whole time he was waiting for me.
At long last, you're here. You've been a thorn in my side for too long. Now I'm going to destroy you personally. Are you ready to see true power?
Rather than replying, I shot the Fallen King with a bunch of super-powered arrows, but all that seemed to do was make him laugh. But that's when he got really scary. The Fallen King unleashed his true form, growing larger and more powerful than he'd ever been before. I couldn't fight him like this. I needed to run. I kept running down the hallway as this giant, terrifying version of the Fallen King left the throne room and chased me.
You can't run forever. You're mine now.
I ducked into the Fallen King's supply room, closed the door, and began building a brick wall in front of it. But that wouldn't hold him for long. He was already starting to smash his way through it. Think! But that's when I saw it. Sitting on the shelf, the legendary Potion of Light. Wasting no time, I grabbed and took the potion. That's when everything changed. I grew to the same size as the fallen king. My hearts and armor literally doubled. I was faster, stronger, and even had the power of light on my side to go against the fallen king's darkness. When he breached the wall, the battle was on. I attacked him relentlessly, dodging his attacks and striking back at him. Just like Bella said, even in his upgraded state, his heavy armor slowed him down. He couldn't stop me from getting him.
Curse you! Curse you!
I struck him one more time with my burning sword, and the fire consumed him. The fallen king was no more, and everyone he'd captured was free. When I finally returned to the base, I saw that JJ and Bella had returned safely and were hanging out with Ed and Kiki next to the statue I made.
Hey, is that supposed to be me?